tow truck, no pit road dust. Still earn respect cause the grind is us. Frame by frame, lap by lap, every setup down, every line on the map. Ain't about luck, it's always in the seat. Finding hunters every single week. Mic check, team set, fuel strategy tight. We're racing for the glory every single night. Some folks laugh, say it at the same till they buckle in and they feel that gain. Pressure's real when the white flag flies. Only one driver's gonna capitalize. Raise them up if you've ever stayed late, chasing one more lap. One more fate, blue collar soul with a digital rifle. Sin living with a whole lot of pride. We're wide open, never lifting off the gas. Wide open, Reps Cup Series, built to make it last. Every throttle, every bumper, every photo finish line made us sweat determination and a whole lot of time. From the first green flag to the checker in the air, every driver's got a story, every victory's earned there. Country heart with a rap style fire, stacking wins and taking dreams a little higher. Wide open raps, that's the family we claim. Esports Oval League, we're racing for the name. Yeah. Shut the door, fire the rig. One more race, one more gig. See y'all next week when the cautions fly. Wide open raps till the finish line. Sun's going down, but the screen lights up. Boots by the door, got my lucky race cup. Clocking out dirty from a hard day's grind. Now I'm chasing checkered flags with a pedal and a line. Got a headset on, hear the boys talk trash. Every green flag drop, somebody's gonna mash. No $1 million holler, no chrome parade. Just a small town dream and a rig I built. Count it down, 3, 2, 1. Heartbeat rising when the pace lap's done. Every lap's earned, every inch is real. You can fake a smile, but you can't fake skill. We're wide open, never lifting off the gas. Wide open, Reps Cup Series, racing hard and racing fast. From the back roads to the blacktop, every Wednesday night, turning virtue trains into a real life fight. Hands on the wheel, got the whole crew fired, burning up the track on the racing wire. It's country roots with a hip-hop beat in the Esports Oval League, where legends meet. Slide job clean, don't door me, son. Everybody wants that #1. Spotter calling outside, clear. One bad move and you're done right here. Farm town kids and the city boys too. Everybody's got something they gotta prove. Late night practice, 100 laps deep. Sacrifice today so tomorrow we eat. Pour down, let the tires sing. Every caution changes everything. One more restart, one more chance. That's where champions make their stand. We're wide open, never lifting off the gas. Wide open, Reps Cup Series, racing hard and racing fast. From the back roads to the blacktop, every Wednesday night, turning virtual dreams into a real life fight. Hands on the wheel, got the whole crew fired, burning up the track on the racing wire. It's country roots with a hip-hop beat in the Esports Oval League, where legends meet. No tow truck, no pit road dust. Still earn respect cause the grind is us. Frame by frame, lap by lap, every setup down, every line on the map. Ain't about luck, it's always in the seat. Finding hunters every single week. Mic check, team set, fuel strategy tight. We're racing for the glory every single night. Some folks laugh, say it at the same till they buckle in and they feel that gain. Pressure's real when the white flag flies. Only one driver's gonna capitalize. Raise them up if you've ever stayed late, chasing one more lap. One more fate, blue collar soul with a digital rifle. Sin living with a whole lot of pride. We're wide open, never lifting off laps, that's the family we claim. Esports Oval League, we're racing for the name. Yeah. Shut the door, fire the rig. One more race, one more gig. See y'all next week when the cautions fly. Wide open wraps till the finish line. Sun's going down, but the screen lights up. Boots by the door, got my lucky race cup. Clocking out dirty from a hard day's grind. Now I'm chasing checkered flags with a pedal and a line. Got a headset on, hear the boys talk trash. Every green flag drop, somebody's gonna mash. No $1 million holler, no chrome parade. Just a small town dream and a rig I built. Count it down, 3, 2, 1. Heartbeat rising when the pace lap's done. Every lap's earned, every inch is real. You can fake a smile, but you can't fake skill. We're wide open, never lifting off the gas. Wide open, Laps Cup Series, racing hard and racing fast. From the back roads to the blacktop, every Wednesday night, turning virtue trains into a real life fight. Hands on the wheel, got the whole crew fired, burning up the track on the iRacing wire. It's country roots with a hip-hop beat in the Esports Oval League, where legends meet. Slide job clean, don't door me, son. Everybody wants that #1. Spotter calling outside, clear. One bad move and you're done right here. Farm town kids and the city boys too. Everybody's got something they gotta prove. Late night practice, 100 laps deep. Sacrifice today so tomorrow we eat. Pour down, let the tires sing. Every caution changes everything. One more restart, one more chance. That's where champions make their stand. We're wide open, never lifting off the gas. Wide open, Laps Cup Series, racing hard and racing fast. From the back roads to the blacktop, every Wednesday night, turning virtual dreams into a real life fight. Hands on the wheel, got the whole crew fired, burning up the track on the iRacing wire. It's country roots with a hip-hop beat in the Esports Oval League, where legends meet. No tow truck, no pit road dust. Still earn respect cause the grind is us. Frame by frame, lap by lap, every setup down, every line on the map. Ain't about luck, it's always in the seat. Finding hundreds every single week. Mic check, team set, fuel strategy tight. We're racing for the glory every single night. Some folks laugh, say it ain't the same till they buckle in and they feel that gain. Pressure's real when the white flag flies. Only one driver's gonna capitalize. Raise them up if you ever stay late, chasing one more lap. One more fake blue collar soul with a digital rifle. Sin living with a whole lot of pride. We're wide open, never lifting off the gas. Wide open, Laps Cup Series, built to make it last. Every throttle, every bumper, every photo finish line, made us sweat determination and a whole lot of time. From the first green flag to the checker in the air, every driver's got a story, every victory's earned there. Country heart with a rap style fire, stacking wins and taking dreams a little higher. Wide open laps, that's the family we claim. Esports Oval League, we're racing for the name. Yeah. Shut the door, fire the rig. One more race, one more gig. See y'all next week when the cautions fly. Wide open wraps till the finish line. sun's going down, but the screen lights up. Boots by the door, got my lucky race cup. Clocking out dirty from a hard day's grind. Now I'm chasing checkered flags with a pedal and a line. Got a headset on, hear the boys talk trash. Every green flag drop, somebody's gonna mash. No $1 million holler, no chrome parade. Just a small town dream and a rig I built. Count it down, 3, 2, 1. Heartbeat rising when the pace lap's done. Every lap's earned, every inch is real. You can fake a smile, but you can't fake skill. We're wide open, never lifting off the gas. Wide open, Raps Cup Series, racing hard and racing fast. From the back roads to the blacktop, every Wednesday night, turning virtue trains into a real life fight. Hands on the wheel, got the whole crew fired, burning up the track on the racing wire. It's country roots with a hip hop beat in the Esports over league where legends meet. Slide job clean, don't door me, son. Everybody wants that #1. Spotter calling outside, clear. One bad move and you're done right here. Farm town kids and the city boys too. Everybody's got something they gotta prove. Late night practice, 100 laps deep. Sacrifice today so tomorrow we eat. Pour down, let the tires sing. Every caution changes everything. One more restart, one more chance. That's where champions make their stand. We're wide open, never lifting off the gas. Wide open, Raps Cup Series, racing hard and racing fast. From the back roads to the blacktop, every Wednesday night, turning virtual dreams into a real life fight. Hands on the wheel, got the whole crew fired, burning up the track on the racing wire. It's country roots with a hip hop beat in the Esports over league where legends meet. No tow truck, no pit road dust. Still earn respect cause the grind is us. Frame by frame, lap by lap, every setup down, every line on the map. Ain't about luck, it's hours in the seat. Finding hundreds every single week. Mic check, team set, fuel strategy tight. We're racing for the glory every single night. Some folks laugh, say it ain't the same till they buckle in and they feel that game. Pressure's real when the white flag flies. Only one driver's gonna capitalize. Raise them up if you never stay late. Chasing one more lap, one more fade. Blue collar soul with a digital rifle. Sin living with a whole lot of pride. We're wide open, never lifting off the gas. Wide open, Raps Cup Series, built to make it last. Every battle, every bumper, every photo finish line made us sweat determination and a whole lot of time. From the first green flag to the checkered in the air, every driver's got a story, every victory's earned there. Country heart with a rap style fire, stacking wins and taking dreams a little higher. Wide open Raps, that's the family we claim. Esports Oval League, we're racing for the name.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Flatout Racing Network's continued coverage of the 2026 B season of the Esports Oval League's Wide Open Raps Cup Series, presented by Top It Off Hot Sauce, as we roll into Sin City for race number 2. This is the Red Line Racing Team 265 at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Last week we had the unpredictability that was Daytona International Speedway kick off this brand new season. Peyton Holland going to victory lane. But tonight, drivers now get ready for a racetrack of the 1.5 variety. I'm Seth Cole alongside of Trey Whitehead. And Trey, we were treated to an incredible season opener last week. Although Daytona, Talladega, those super speedway races, yes, drivers certainly can determine a partial portion of what their fate is going to be, but a lot can be left up to happenstance and circumstances. Here tonight, a little bit more of a driver's track for drivers to maybe be able to determine where they're going to be in the finishing results.
Yeah, I mean, those that had a tough race last week were mainly just because of bad luck. And that race produced so many different things. Like stage one, we had fuel strategy. Speeding penalties bit like 14 guys in the first stage. Some of them were able to get their lap back, and then we had wrecks in the second and third stages in those sprints. But we're here, like you said, at a driver's track. People are going to roll the dice. This race has been won like 3 out of the 7 times on fuel strategy alone, or even saving a tire set until a late yellow. And I just can't wait to get this race underway. It's going to be insane, all the strategies that are going to come into play tonight.
Hey, you mentioned about those strategies. We mentioned last week in terms of the stage lengths, a little bit opposite of what we're going to be used to seeing this season, where the longest stage was stage 1 and then the 2 half stages, if you will, stages 2 and 3. A little bit more traditional here tonight with 53 laps in stages 1 and 2. We mentioned as well the 75% fuel limit tank. So how much does that play into strategy in trying to get those valuable stage points also?
Yeah, it's going to factor in really heavily tonight, especially if we have a low caution count, because from what I'm being told, these cars can only go about 46 to maybe maximum 49 laps on a full tank. So we're already going to see strategy if there's no caution in the first stage, and it's going to set guys up for, stage 1 points, stage 2 points. And with this new format, the stage winner, he still gets 10 points. Everybody's second through fourth, or I believe second through fifth, they only get 5. That's a 5-point difference if you're able to gamble and win the stage. So it's going to be awesome to see who's able to do that and who's able to use that to their advantage. Or it could be a bad thing. You win the stage, but you might cycle back to the back because you have to take more fuel. It's going to be wild to see everything play out.
7 previous races have been run here in Las Vegas for this series. 7 different drivers have gone to victory lane. Now, 3 of our former race winners are going to be in the field here tonight. Something that I found interesting, though, the 4 drivers that are not in the field here tonight only made 1 start in this series at this racetrack and were able to go to victory lane. So I go back to speed weeks leading up to the season opener at Daytona last week, and we talked about the impressive rookie class. Could tonight be a night where a driver that is searching for their first victory in this series, could Las Vegas be the place that it happens?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely could be. Like I said, it's a wild card race. They don't call it the Gamble Sin City for nothing. I mean, you go to Las Vegas to gamble. These guys are doing nothing different at this racetrack, and I wouldn't be surprised if somebody that you never thought would win this race comes out on top. I mean, one of the most memorable races in recent memory to me is 2023 here at this racetrack. Patrick McQuaid saves a late set of tires for a caution that comes out with like 20 to go, and him and Chris Hubka are battling for the win. I mean, an unbelievable duo. Both of those guys are really good drivers and seasoned drivers in this league, but it just produced such, like, the person who dominated that race didn't win. Like, it all the strategy does is it just mixes things up towards the end, and it leads to a really exciting finish. And I mean, we always get that here, so it's probably going to happen again tonight. It's just a matter of who is in contention at the end.
Qualifying currently underway. We'll be giving your starting lineup here in just a moment. I believe 34 drivers, actually, correction, 35 drivers are going to take the green flag here tonight. Let's talk a little bit more about the fallout of Daytona, right? Because obviously a lot of drivers ended up getting really solid outings. Peyton Holland with the victory, Brock Whitehead, Chris Otto, Noah Jackson, Greg Wood. I mean, these are drivers that are currently coming into tonight's race up there inside of the top 5 in the point standings, trying to get the season started off right to clinch themselves a spot eventually when we get to that regular season finale. But on the flip side, there's a lot of drivers that really did not get the run that they were looking for, finished outside of the top 20, the top 25, looking to get those spots back. How much did the fallout from Daytona play into the preliminary strategy that these drivers have in preparation for the green flag tonight?
Yeah, with the format that we're running in EOL for this year, we're running 2 half seasons pretty much. So you have about 15 races to get yourself positioned inside the top 16 on points alone. Remember, we're no more winning your end. So top 16 on points. And yeah, you're looking at guys like DJ Daniels sitting 32nd in points, caught up in 2 accidents last week. I mean, that sets you up horribly, and you just have to kind of go on a run here. Unfortunately, he's not going to make it tonight. He's on a provisional. And Tom Bourne as well did not have a great race, caught up in an accident, and he's also on a provisional tonight. So they're both going to be in a hole heading into week 3 next week. But yeah, for everybody else racing tonight that didn't get the finish they wanted last week, yeah, they're going to be looking for a big points night to try to offset the bad strategy or the bad positioning that they had from Daytona. So it'll be pretty wild to see these guys making some moves and try to gain some points.
A few drivers that Daytona was kind to them. Looks like they're going to be lining up in pretty good starting track position here tonight. Chris Otto coming off 3rd place in the season opener at Daytona. He's going to actually get the pole position. He's going to have Noah Jackson, who was on the pole for the Daytona race 1 week ago. He'll be on the outside of the front row. So a couple of drivers here, the Redline Racing Team 265, a couple of Redline Racing sponsored machines on the front row here tonight. And you know that they've got to be a little bit more motivated as well with the sponsor namesake here for this race featured on their cars. They'd love to have one of their machines parked in victory lane. What about track position? You mentioned about that fuel strategy, so I almost wonder if that takes track position out of play, but does it really? Do you need that track position in the early going to be able to go that full court press offensively in terms of fuel strategy later on in the race?
Yeah, not only is this fuel strategy, but you cannot wear your tires out because the car basically becomes undrivable, especially if you're going to be in dirty air. So you're taking one of two strategies. You're either trying to get to the front, get clean air, or you're just going to ride around out back and not worry about pushing it so you don't slide in the dirty air. But yeah, I mean, strategy is going to play a big factor in this, and you definitely do want some track position. That way, if a late yellow comes out, you do come and pick for tires, you're in front of everybody else that also does that. So yeah, positioning is key, but also taking care of your tires as well as watching fuel. I mean, it has everything that you need in this race. It's going to be awesome.
What about the time of day here at Las Vegas? As we can see, the waning hours laying here, the sun starting to go behind the desert mountains, so obviously we'll be more than likely into full-fledged night, probably somewhere around halfway through this race. Track conditions, I would assume, will cool down some, but this is Las Vegas we're talking about. We're out in the middle of the desert, so I don't know if it ever absolutely ends up completely cooling down for these drivers, but what does that do as the race progresses of allowing these drivers more options, maybe run that groove a little bit higher up the racetrack, right up against that bright yellow wall?
Yeah, you're going to see, guys, the sweet spot around here is about the low to middle line, but once the sun goes down, yeah, you're definitely going to see guys trying the top line, and it really comes in 3 and 4 because it's kind of undrivable right now as the sun's out. That's where the sun is beating. But yeah, once the track starts cooling down, you'll see guys move up more and be able to make passes and runs on the outside.
It's going to be a wild one here this evening. First speedway race of the season for these drivers. Coming off that unpredictable and exciting race last week at the World Center of Racing. Pace car going to get ready to make the left-hand turn to pit road. He's going to turn the field over into the control of the number 88 Chevrolet of Chris Otto as these drivers get ready for 177 laps here tonight at this mile-and-a-half speedway known as Las Vegas. Through the restart zone they come. Green flag is out, and we're racing in Sin City. Otto gets the lead down the back straightaway. Jackson will tuck in line into second. Brock Whitehead into third, right in front of that bright orange number 1 of Gavin Hutchinson. Did take him long to go 3 wide. That is Ryan White, last week's runner-up. High, wide, and handsome through 3 and 4.
Yeah, Wally Babb in an unfortunate position, gets split 3 wide. He's stuck in the middle. You got Greg Wood down on the bottom and Ryan White. Oh, contact there going into 1.
It's Greg Wood making the move on the inside 3 wide, picks up a couple of positions. Now they're side by side between White in the 34, Babb in the 99. Thad Teasley just behind them in the 33 looking on is a little bit further up. There's last week's winner, Peyton Holland. You know that he'd love to go 2 in a row to kick off the season. Again, mentioned this last week when he went to victory lane. You go back 1 season prior, he had to wait till the next to last race of the season to find his first victory of the 2026 A season. Didn't have to wait long here in 2026 B.
Yeah, he definitely got his revenge at Daytona with that close finish last year with Brock Whitehead. But yeah, huge run on the outside. He's the only one that I'm seeing make the top, like right up next to the wall, working 3 and 4. He's making me eat my words here.
Currently up to the 3rd position, trying to draw a bead up ahead on Brock Whitehead. Noah Jackson right behind him. Quartet of Toyotas trying to run down the Chevrolet bow tie of Chris Otto, who for the moment has about a 3 to 4 car length lead down the back straightaway. Battle up front going to be for 2nd place, as took a little look low that time there did Peyton Holland on Brock Whitehead as they approach turn number 3.
Yeah, he got a huge run out of turn 2, just running the outside line. I mean, you gain so much momentum riding that top all the way through, and as long as you don't do it wrong, the minute you get back in the gas, you've got more momentum than the guy on the bottom. So you see Noah kind of looking to the inside. He's got some contact to the wall a little bit on his right front, but cars look good for now.
Riding on board with Brock Whitehead, you can just see the surge, the momentum Peyton Holland got off that top side down the back straightaway, goes back up again, opens up the door, and Noah Jackson trying to get to the left rear quarter panel. Couldn't quite do it there off the corner, but that's the thing too, with the risk reward. If you're Peyton Holland, if you're up there and you're able to get the momentum that you need off the corner, that's great. But if you have a slip up, you've got a driver that's down there on the inside trying to get some clean air as well. That's going to be more than willing to get to the left rear and side draft you on the straightaways.
Yeah, risk versus reward. I mean, one of the best table games of all time is 21 blackjack. So, you go to the top, you're hoping for that 10 on the first card, but the guy on the bottom could have a 21 and you don't even know. So, yeah, you're opening the door to a lot of trouble if you don't enter that top very well, and the bottom can really just send it in and kind of, brake check in the middle and keep it down there and keep the momentum.
So Wally Babb for a moment looking to the inside of Jeffrey Kleinsma. Kleinsma now going to climb the hill, and he'll get to driver's right of Ryan White. Meanwhile, under fire is the 99. Another driver you mentioned about DJ Daniels, Tom Bourne. How about Brandon Cooper coming into tonight? Certainly looking to get points back. 39th in the point standings coming into this race. Currently putting together a good run early on. 10th position looking for 9th.
Yeah, he's got a good run going on the bottom. He's making the bottom work. He's rolling the center, which is what you want to do here at Las Vegas, especially 3 and 4. I mean, that wall on the exit of turn 4 comes up so quick, just the radius. Going out onto the front stretch, you just carry more speed because of how it's the exit is kind of widened out, so it's just really deceiving. But he's doing a great job at rolling the center.
Greg Wood on the move. He just got around Noah Jackson to move into the 4th position.
Oh, we got a wreck off 4, Kleinsma.
And I believe Ryan White was either involved or certainly had to get slowed up for the Kleinsma incident. Both cars look relatively clean. Maybe some damage on the right front of Kleinsma, but that was right up inside of the top 10, the latter half of the top 10, I do believe. And we may have gotten away with one here in the early going.
It looked like Kleinsma was kind of rolling the center and tried to turn down the corner, got tight behind Gavin Hutchinson, and Ryan White was already on his outside. He kind of got squeezed on the wall and didn't go fully around, but yeah, there was some contact between the 15 and the 34.
You mentioned earlier when we were watching Peyton Holland up the racetrack trying to pick up positions, the contact to the outside wall not necessarily seeming to affect his speed. What about what we're seeing right here, that pretty significant contact with the right front quarter panel? How badly would that affect Jeffrey Kleinsma for the rest of this race? Would he potentially be thinking about... Actually, I don't believe they have faster pairs in this race. So, yeah, actually, what would that do for this car the rest of the race there with that damage? I mean, obviously, aerodynamics certainly come into play with mile-and-a-half speedway racing.
Yeah, you still have some time on pit road here. Vegas is, the 1.5 mile tracks. You get about a minute and a half sitting in your pit stall if you're not taking tires to fix some damage. So, if he's able to get that fixed within the first lap, I mean, you should go ahead and take it. A strategy for me, which doesn't always work out, you could get trapped, but you can even go a lap down here and just kind of hang around. There's going to be another caution at some point. So, yeah, you definitely just want to get it fixed. I mean, that's going to affect your car all night long if you don't. So, don't expect him to pull out as soon as he changes his tires.
You were talking about, tire wear during the course of the runs of this race. How much of that incident right there was the 15 potentially pushing up off the corner? We were about 10 green flag laps into that run. How much of it was him just not realizing Ryan White had gotten that much of a run and was to his right rear quarter panel off of 4?
Yeah, I mean, it gets really tight, and everything happens so fast at mile-and-a-half tracks. So, yeah, I mean, he got really tight behind Gavin. It actually looked like the contact occurred a little bit later out of turn four than I expected, or actually from what I saw. But yeah, I mean, it just got really tight. It looked like the 34 was right up against the wall, and just a little bit of contact will send that car straight to the outside. But yeah, dirty air is definitely coming into play. I saw the 15 get pretty tight coming off of turn four.
You mentioned about the gambling city of Las Vegas and how we have seen gamblers here in the past in this series at this venue. Looks like we've got a couple of them here in the early going. Most everybody was on pit road, but 7 drivers elect the track position over the tires. Rookie David Lorfano going to take the top position. It looks like he'll be the control car when we go back green. Alonzo King will line up to his outside. Alonzo making his first start on the season. Charles Whitehead, Patrick McQuaid, Matt Mettler, Chris Reitz, and David Hera all going to also stay out here. Is this a strategy call of maybe trying to save a set of tires for later on in the race if we were to get ourselves some kind of a late race restart, have the advantage on the opposite side of the race?
Yeah, I mean, as close as we were on fuel, these guys might be just looking to try to save and not take any tires at all in this stage. And it could come into play, like I said, towards the end of the race when there's a late yellow. All of these other guys behind them don't have an extra set of tires, but these front 7 most likely will, based off the strategy, if they do go to the end of the stage. So, yeah, a lot of gambling going on. I mean, don't expect them to stay up front. I think they're just really trying to be conservative and, like I said, save that extra set. So they'll be pretty cautious at letting these guys that just got a fresh set of tires come by.
Yeah, it will be really interesting to keep an eye on Chris Otto, who's going to start on the outside of the 4th row. Peyton Holland, Brock Whitehead, they're all on the fresh rubber, but they've got about 4 rows in between them and the race lead. Just how much pressure are they going to put on these drivers up ahead with the older Goodyears to try and make their way back up to the front? We're going to have to wait and see. That stage caution to complete stage number 1 going to be at lap 53's conclusion, so still quite a ways to go before we reach that point. A lot can happen between now and then, but David Lorfano going to bring us down to green. Great launch there around that second third of the Echo Park restart zone, and he is gone. That's exactly what he needed to do to keep himself a little bit of a buffer from those fresh tires in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, the guys that just took fresh tires, they're good on fuel too, so they're going to be really aggressive. These front 7 might still have to save a little bit. Ooh, we got tight 3 wide there, coming off the 2. Oh
How
my
about
goodness.
4 wide?
Yeah, super tight there. Looked like contact between the 31 and 62 on the outside, and I'm surprised he didn't go around there. But yeah, Chris Otto already trying to find his way to the outside around these guys.
David Hera was in quite a situation there with Brock Whitehead, last week's winner Peyton Holland as well. They sorted it all out from turn 2 down the back straightaway. Now they'll fan out double and 3 wide again as Otto with those fresh tires up in that 2.5 groove. Big run there, gets around Matt Mettler, now sets his sights on Patrick McQuaid, just trying to slice his way through this traffic in front of him, get himself back to where he was prior to that first caution flying.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he caught it, but man, that 77 got really tight off of turn 2. Even after just 10 laps of green flag racing, if you didn't treat your tires right, it's going to show right now, and it definitely did right there. Otto with a great run off the top to get those 2 cars last lap.
It's like under that caution period, the 29 of Johnny Williams came down pit road. Not sure what exactly the issue was, but it looks like they have pushed that machine back behind the wall. There's some contact made back there between Charles Whitehead and I believe that was Noah Jackson. Another of those drivers on the old tires going the wrong way. And whoa, Peyton Holland into the wall trying to get by. Same for Brandon Cooper.
Yeah, not sure what happened there. It looked like contact between the 40 and the 77.
Oh, we got
actually.
smoke up ahead. Someone's spinning. That is Chris Otto. Patrick McQuaid down on the inside of the racetrack as well. Brock Whitehead going to get a hit there from Peyton Holland. We've got about a half dozen drivers scattered across the top to the bottom of the back straightaway.
Yeah, I mean, that's really unfortunate. A lot of fast cars that have run up front, man, just caught up in that one. That's really unfortunate for those guys.
You see the suspension damage there as that car of Patrick McQuaid skewed on the apron, making his way down into turn number 3. Chris Otto, who was on the fresh tires, trying to charge his way back up through the field. A lot of damage on the front end of that machine. And Peyton Holland, who had the victory last week. Brock Whitehead, who was a stage winner last week, ended up finishing a solid podium there. I mean, a lot of drivers, a lot of big names, as you said, caught up in this one, and some pretty significant damage sustained by a number of them.
Yeah, look like Chris Otto just got loose and nowhere for Alonso King to go, right in the back bumper, and some guys just can't get checked up in time and get turned in the outside wall. Yeah, it's a pretty substantial wreck right there for a lot of guys.
As we watch it back here, it's interesting because just the corner prior, when they were coming off of turn 4, Otto was to the inside of Alonso King and saw him almost pushing up into the 80 as they were exiting off the corner. So doesn't matter if you've got that fresh tire advantage, the aerodynamics, the side force with the side drafting still comes into play. And some big shots taken in that one, and unfortunately for a lot of drivers too, was up there at the front of the field. So you can definitely see there's a lot of space, about probably 10, 11, 12 grooves from the wall up top all the way to the inside wall, all that runoff area. But if a hole closes up in front of you, there's not a whole lot you can do because everything just seems to happen so fast at this track.
Yeah, like I said, they were coming at a pretty fast pace coming out of turn 2. That's one of the fastest spots on the racetrack. And yeah, it looked like Chris Otto just got loose. And like I said, Alonso, I mean, he could have hit the brakes. I just don't think there was any avoiding any contact right there. Already carrying a lot of speed. He can't just turn up or down the track. He'll spin himself out. But and then, yeah, guys behind him just, you're getting on the brakes, but the car's just going to slide. That's the nature of the next gen. So, yeah, really unfortunate for a lot of guys that got caught up in that wreck.
Patrick McQuaid was running right behind Brock Whitehead. He got into the back of the 31 as they were trying to avoid the wreck that was right up in front of them. Peyton Holland, as mentioned, had that late hit into him as well, into Brock Whitehead. And you see right there, 39 of David Hara, big hit into the inside wall, some contact as well for the 3 of Kirby Wainscott, and there might have been some others as well that got bits and pieces of that wreck. I want to double check real quickly. It looks like the 54 of Brandon Cooper may be out of the race. I don't know if this was in relation to this wreck or... Yeah, I think he was actually involved in this. I wondered if it was in relation to this wreck or maybe damage he sustained when we saw him get up into the outside wall trying to make his way around Charles Whitehead. But it looks like we can add his name to the list of the drivers in this wreck as well.
Yeah, it's not going to be a good start to the season for the 54. He's got 13 races to get back into it, but yeah, definitely not what he wanted.
You just saw him kind of lock it up there, and the car migrated up towards the outside wall. Hard hit right front into the outside safer barrier. And boy, we thought that Daytona last week was going to definitely be a shakeup in terms of who was going to have the good momentum to kick off the season. Looks like Las Vegas is saying, hold on just a second, I got a part to play as well.
Yeah, definitely something you want to avoid is 2 bad finishes in a row. I mean, that's really hard to come back from, and a couple of guys that looks like it's going to be the case.
Most drivers that didn't pit under the first caution pit under this second caution, with the exception of Matt Mettler. He's yet to be to pit road, and he is going to be our race leader as we get back underway. Noah Jackson, Thad Teasley, Greg Wood, Matt Davies, the top 5 here as lap 20 goes up on the board. Jackson will jump to the outside now on Matt Mettler down the back straightaway. Jackson coming off that pole last week at Daytona. Solid run to kick off the season as well. Finds himself currently tied for 4th with Greg Wood in the overall standings. And looking to get his first victory on the season as he'll complete the pass going into turn 1.
Yeah, fresh tires king there. You see him cut down across the nose of the 7, shot the 7 straight up the racetrack. I mean, dirty air like that is going to be a factor all race long, and I'm sure Mettler did not like the way his car drove right there.
Greg Wood will now complete the pass for 2nd place. That Teasley, that Steel-sponsored number 33 Chevrolet, now going to try and do the same. Matt Davies right there as well. Gavin Hutchinson in the conversation. Behind them, you got Quinn Newton, Dalton McKenney side by side. That's for 7th place. Some good battling in the latter half of the top 10. A little ways behind them, you got Travis Rodriguez under fire from the 13 of CJ Papa.
Yeah, Travis and Quinn, two rookies doing a phenomenal job so far tonight, hanging around inside the top 10.
Obviously a long regular season to go, but found it really interesting that at the, oh, we got caution, actually yellow flag out for the third time tonight. Looks like Adam Stewart and the 4 has run into an issue. That's in the entrance to turn 1 on the front straightaway. Looks like maybe just a single car incident. Stewart had, I think, fallen a lap down under the first caution, managed to get his lap back, but the reason for this third yellow flag of the evening here at Las Vegas, let's take a look and see what happened to the driver out of Black Flag Racing. Looks like he got a little help.
Yeah, definitely got a lot of help through the trial. I'm not sure what happened there with the 40, but yeah, straight to the left rear there.
Charles Whitehead getting into Adam Stewart, sends him around. Caution flies, and this caution coming out just around the halfway point of this stage as well. You mentioned about drivers being good on fuel. Would there be anybody that would come down to pit road, be tempted to maybe take some tires and flip the first stage into the second stage?
I think one guy doing a phenomenal job right now, Metler, has held on to his top position since not stopping on the first caution. And you know, he could choose to stay out or he could come down and take tires. It is really difficult to pass here with all the dirty air. You just got to find a way to get some clean air and make it work, but I wouldn't be surprised if he'd be able to do that.
Does not look like we will have a lucky dog under this caution. We have a few drivers that are on pit road getting repairs done in the hopes of returning to the track. David Hara, currently 7 laps down. And I was going to mention Patrick McQuaid, but it looks like just as I am speaking about him, they are actually now pushing him back behind the wall. He was on pit road 8 laps down. Thought he might try and get back out there, but he's going to finish in the garage area along with Brandon Cooper and Johnny Williams. So 35 drivers started this race. We are now down to 32 still scored, but right now only 30 of them are out on the racetrack, and those 30 are currently the ones scored on the lead lap.
A lot of guys that are, you know, sustained damage in that first accident. You got 4 of them all together: Chris Otto, Brock Whitehead, Peyton Holland, and Kirby Wainscott. You know, they're all taking their damage, but not going a lap down. They're really just kind of biding their time in the back. And with these short runs, I mean, I don't see them going a lap down. So it's very advantageous for these quick cautions for them to come down and keep getting damage fixed. I mean, they might not get their damage fixed to get back to a race-winning pace, but, you know, trying to salvage as many points as they can, especially with the great runs that they had last week.
Yeah, it was interesting when we looked at those by the numbers. One of the stats that kind of jumped out, not much of a surprise, though, was that in the 7 previous races, 0 of them had gone caution-free. So all those drivers, as you mentioned back there, they realized, I think the last race that was run here had 12 cautions, and they might be able to take advantage of a potential race of attrition, get some points, get some positions that are far better than where they're currently running, and that could be really important when we eventually get to that regular season finale if you're trying to clinch yourself a spot in the postseason.
Yeah, it's every point's going to matter, especially without the win in your end. We saw it last season in the 2026 A season. Yeah, it's really different when you have a win in your end and you have somebody that can just get one win and kind of ride it out. No, you got to be consistent, and it's really going to show for some of the guys that had a bad race last week and are having a bad one. If they can turn it around, you know, that point swing is going to be huge.
A couple of drivers came down pit road and just took on fuel, Zachary Woods and David Lorfano, but they're going to be back in the 11th row. The furthest driver back on fresh tires is going to be 23rd place Hunter West. So most of these drivers up here outside of Matt Metler going to be on equal footing, about 15 laps on their tires. Again, Metler, he's not come to pit road since the initial drop of the green flag to start this race, but doing a solid job holding on to a current top 5 running position. As Noah Jackson, the control car, going to take the outside line for this restart. Matt Davies right there with him, so Jackson will have Woods and Davies alongside each other for second as he sets sail for turn 1.
Yeah, leader usually has a really good launch unless they spin their tires here. So, yeah, not going to be surprised at all if that 20 is all clear going into turn 1.
Greg Wood going to clear himself for the second position. Davies will slot into third. Metler hanging on in the 4th position, and then it's on 5th place on back Gavin Hutchinson, that Teasley, Quinn Newton up there on the high side. Right behind them, you've got Dalton McKenney and Travis Rodriguez as well. Just prior to that caution coming out, I was going to mention, it's interesting, I know we're only one race in, but that cut line, going to be the 16 drivers that will battle in the playoffs this season, and we have a three-way tie for the 15th spot after the conclusion of the season opener.
Yeah, I thought I was done with ties after Daytona qualifying, but apparently not. We have very many ties in the point standings, and yeah, it's going to happen like that after the first race, but yeah, you're really going to want to try to beat the guy, especially around that 16th place. We have three guys, like you said, tied for 15th. So, yeah, one guy's going to miss out on that, but we have a long ways to go. I'm sure to get settled out, but you don't want to be the guy on the outside looking in as we continue.
Looking back from Hutchinson's Chevrolet, Quinn Newton making his way around the outside of Thad Teasley. That was for the 6th position. Teasley drops back to 7th. Great battling going on in the middle portion of the field as well. Ryan White, we saw him kind of fade back. He's now working his way up through the field. Just got around Jeffrey Vickery for the 14th position. Zachary Woods just made his way by Chris Reese for 16th place. Saw him top off on the fuel tank under that last yellow flag, so we know he's good to make it to the end of stage 1. He could go full court offense right now. The driver's up ahead of him. Oh, Wally Babb loose in the center of 3 and 4. Great save by the 99.
Wow, what a save. Oh, he's coming back.
Oh, no. And he's going to get a couple of others along with it. He got the 10 right there, as well as I believe that was the 3. Justin Hutchinson, Kirby Wainscott. Oh, he had that thing all gathered up, but just the overcorrect back up into traffic. On the exit of turn 4, caution's going to wave for the 4th time tonight.
That might be the fastest case of broadcaster curse I've ever seen. I mean, oh, so unfortunate. We thought he had it under control, and he was actually still out of control and just come back. I mean, one camera view that we're going to want to see is definitely the onboard of the 5 car. I mean, I bet his heart jumped out of his chest on that one. Insane way to miss that accident.
Wally Babb was running up, I believe, inside of the top 15 or just outside of the top 15. You saw him up in the top 10 the early going of this race, but man, I thought that he was actually going to go around through the center of 3 and 4. I was amazed that with that banking transition down to the flat apron that he was able to gather it up. Might have got a little help from behind there from CJ Papa, but then right here where he hits the transition off of 4, car just snaps on him, and it's blink of an eye. There's nothing that Hutchinson or Wainscott can do in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, his rear tires most likely got really hot trying to save the race car on the first part, and transitioning down onto the apron like that, I mean, that upsets the balance of the car so much, and it shifts, and with your rears so hot after spinning them for that long through 3 and 4, I mean, yeah, it's just got shot straight up the track. That's super unfortunate for everybody involved there, but yeah, I mean, Wally did a hell of a job trying to keep it under control.
You mentioned about the onboard with Chris Hubka. Here's what the 5 car saw. You see the 10 right in front of him, and my goodness.
Wow.
We mentioned it last week at Daytona. Talk about right place, right time here tonight at Las Vegas.
Yeah, just once Hubka saw the 99 go to the apron, I think he thought it was clear too, and that shot straight back up the racetrack. I mean, I would have to, take a test to make sure I didn't have a heart attack after that one. I mean, that's insane.
Here's the onboard with Wally Babb. You see the hands full tilt to the right, just trying to gather it up. And you mentioned about that slide not doing any favor for the tires. You could hear those rear tires continuing to squeal even when it looked like he had the wheel pointed back in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, one way with these race cars to save it, I mean, believe it or not, it's just stabbing the brakes. I mean, the way the brakes are, you can stab it and it'll kind of right the car, but as a race car driver, you don't want to do that. You don't want to slow down. You want to try to save the car and keep her position, and yeah, I just don't. The rears got really hot there. You heard it squealing, and yeah, he was out of control the whole way down on the apron and everything. So, yeah, unfortunate, but it's really hard to tell a race car driver to hit the brakes and save the race car.
That's unfortunately going to end the night for Justin Hutchinson. Looks like at least for the moment, he is going to be 30th place. If Wally Babb is able to get back out there after the damage he sustained, same for David Hera, he could drop as far as 32nd place, but still awaiting the the fate, if you will, of the 99 and the 39 as they continue to get repairs done on pit road. Going to get this restart just a little south of 20 laps to go here in stage 1. Bunch of Toyotas up here at the front. Noah Jackson, Greg Wood, Matt Davies, Matt Mettler. Then you've got the Chevrolet of Gavin Hutchinson. Thad Teasley, Quinn Newton, Dalton McKenney, and Travis Rodriguez going to be the lone Ford, I believe. Or actually, correction, no, he's a Chevrolet as well, up there inside of the top 10. So Toyotas in the first 2 rows, and then the rest all Chevrolet bow ties for this upcoming restart here tonight at Vegas.
Yeah, Chevy always has the numbers, especially at every racetrack. It's just the most popular, and unfortunately, all 6 that are out of the race right now are Chevrolets. But yeah, with these 4 Toyotas up front, they're looking to try to stay together and keep those Chevrolets behind them.
You mentioned it, but I'll echo it. Very impressive, Matt Mettler being able to still stay up here. I mean, we saw drivers on, what was about 10-lap older tires free-falling through the field. How he's been able to keep himself up here inside of the top 5 on these restarts, not get eaten up by the fresher tires behind him, is absolutely incredible. But now, it looked like he got the best of restarts, and he's going to have the Chevrolet of Quinn Newton to his inside. Let's see if that 7 can continue to hang on here, as you said, more than likely just trying to get himself on this set of tires right to the end of stage 1.
Yeah, and a benefit to these yellows, I mean, if you can save a set of tires and score pretty good stage points, like right now he's on the edge of getting 5. If he gets past, he'll be in the 4-point position. But still, that's a huge gain. I mean, you usually don't get points for running at the back and saving a set of tires. So, I mean, he's doing a great job.
And I'd have to think with these caution periods as well, it's allowing him to cool those tires down some too, right? Allow him to have maybe a little bit of extra grip on these restarts than he would have had if we'd been into 10, 15-lap runs.
Yeah, absolutely. And if he's treated his tires right, which it looks like he has, I mean, he doesn't have any wheel spin on the restarts either. So he's not absolutely beating the crap out of his tires through the corner. He's just kind of riding, and it's showing on his restarts. And same can't be said about the 67. He had a really big wheel spin, which is, I believe, is what put Mettler back in this position. He spun his tires on that restart. But yeah, Mettler's starting to slide back a little bit now. You see the fresh tires starting to come into play.
Dalton McKenney has now made his way up into the top 5, coming into this race 8th in the point standings. Solid outing at Daytona. As he looks up ahead at the side-by-side battle for 4th place between Greg Wood and Gavin Hutchinson. Looks like Wood will complete the pass through 1 and 2. Hutchinson trying to cross over. Ooh, got a big run. I don't know if Wood had to lift or if Hutchinson just had a better exit off the corner, but a major close-up onto the back bumper of Wood as they got to the back straightaway.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like Wood had a really good run through the center, but got tied on exit, and Gavin running that middle line got a really big run, and we're going to see what Gavin did as a strategy all night when you pass somebody. You're going to want to slide up in front of him, and the left front is really sensitive to clean air, so if you can kind of get your left front or get their left front in your dirty air, it's going to keep them from being able to turn like they want to, and it got the 67 tight there out before.
I just saw him actually slap the wall a little bit, did Greg Wood off of turn 2. Now he'll work back to the inside of Gavin Hutchinson. Dalton McKenney back around 33 of Teasley to keep the 5th position. Oh, and Hutchinson, whoa! Little contact there. I think the 67 got into the back of the 1. They both managed to gather it back up, however.
Yeah, we just about had a wreck behind that, too, checking up Travis Rodriguez. What a save coming out of turn 2 after contact with Zach Woods.
Saw them fanned out 4 wide back there. That's around the 15th position. These drivers with some good hands here tonight, but certainly these race cars appearing to be a handful for them. So we've had a couple of near misses just moments ago. Everybody, at least for the moment though, has these cars pointed back in the right direction. Everyone's still going. We are fast approaching 10 laps to go here in this first stage, as Noah Jackson more than happy to have it all happening in the rear view mirror, as he's got about 0.8 of a second back to Matt Davies, who in turn has a 1.5 seconds back to Dalton McKenney. These two Toyotas, they have set sail.
Yeah, and Matt Mettler is actually making his way back up into prime position for points. I mean, we got a big battle there with Greg Wood and Gavin Hutchison kind of holding that whole lineup right there. But yeah, Mettler is actually doing a really good job hanging on inside the top 10.
Jeffrey Kleinsma, how about that? We saw him up into the outside wall after he and Ryan White got together. Both the 15 and the 34 have now since made their way, well, for Kleinsma, he's up to 8th. Ryan White knocking on the door to get back inside the top 10. Who would have thought that when those two made the contact on the front straightaway that they could be still in line for stage points at the conclusion of stage 1?
Yeah, I mean, and it helps a lot with the new stage format. I mean, you can get points back in 20th now, even though it's 1 or 2. But yeah, Kleinsma looks like their pit crew is able to get that right front fixed, and his car is driving really well.
Just as soon as we had all that side-by-side racing, things have settled out amongst the top 10. Got to go back just outside the top 15 before you see some side-by-side. That's where David Lorfano, Zachary Woods, Alonzo King, all side-by-side with each other. Chris Reese there as well in the 62. Travis Rodriguez, Cameron Coster in the 12 car as well. Trying to remember, I'm pretty sure Ryan Blaney has a victory here in a Pennzoil car in the Cup Series, so maybe that's what Coster's trying to channel in here tonight with that gold and white Pennzoil Dark Horse Mustang.
Yeah, I'm a huge Blaney fan. If you could see my wall in there right now, you could see that. But yeah, he definitely does have a win here at Vegas pretty recently in the 12 car with the Pennzoil colors on it, I should say. So yeah, it'd be pretty cool to see that replicated.
Blaney fan myself. Happy to say that 2 of the Cup races I've gone to, I got to see him go to victory lane. So got a pass here. That is Quinn Newton. Whoa, Ryan White really pushed up there through 1 and 2. Again, almost into the driver's side door of Gavin Hutchinson. Close quarter racing just in the latter half of the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, the right front is really starting to show its age, and with Ryan, it's no different. He's getting really tight through the center of the corner.
And I'm not sure exactly what happened to Matt Davies. We saw him, along with Noah Jackson, kind of pulling away from the rest of the field. All of a sudden, he has slipped back behind Dalton McKenney. Thad Teasley under fire from Christian Ruse from 2nd back to 4th and in danger of losing more.
Yeah, this 4-car pack is definitely something to keep your eye on. Greg Wood kind of hanging on to the back end after what looked like some worn out right front tires. But yeah, Kleinsma and him doing a really good job, and Roos as well. I mean, we're doing a really good job running the outside and trying to get that spot for Matt Davies in the top 4.
Yeah, Roos, another driver that had a great run last week at Daytona. 7th in the point standings coming into tonight as Kleinsma crowds him up there off of turn number 2. That's going to open up the door. Greg Wood looking 3 wide. Roos will get clear of Kleinsma, so it'll be double wide instead for that 6th position.
Yeah, that's dirty air at its finest. He just went into the corner, and unfortunately, Matt Davies ran the same exact line. He had no clean air and just about pushed up into the 14 there. That was really close.
I mean, we've seen a lot of drivers, as you mentioned, with that dirty air. The car just all of a sudden seems to do what it wants to do. How easy is that to predict, or does it surprise you every time it happens?
You can kind of predict it. You want to kind of shade, like I said, to the left a little bit, and you'll see Kleinsma, like, he's not running the same line Davies is. He's got his left front out from behind the 32, but yeah, I mean, it's surprising at how strong it is sometimes. You don't think that it's going to be really strong, but it can be, especially if your left front is caught up in some dirty air. But Ruth's doing a really good job running a different line and getting to the outside.
If you finish inside the top 25, you are guaranteed at least 1 stage point at the conclusion of every stage during the course of the season. But if you win a stage, that is 10 valuable points. Noah Jackson, he's got some threats in the rearview mirror. Dalton McKenney and Thad Teasley have reeled him in. And from what I'm looking at, all of these drivers are on pit road at the same time, about 39 laps ago. Took on fuel, so they've got the same number of laps of tires. What is it that Dalton McKenney has done different than Noah Jackson here that might put him in line to snipe this stage victory from the 20 car?
Yeah, I mean, you can run a really conservative line down on the bottom. If you paint the corner all the way around, you can really save that right front tire, and he's not really strayed from the bottom all that much. I mean, running the middle a little bit just to get a run. But yeah, once it's a different ball game once you get within a certain, limit of the guy in front of you. That's when the dirty air starts to come into play. But when you're really far back, it's almost like clean air, and you can run the bottom and run the same line and it not be as effective for you. So yeah, he's done a really good job at keeping his car in clean air, and that in turn helps save his tires, and he's reeling them back in.
He's got 1.5 laps to work with. We're on board with the 46. Let's watch them as they make their way into turn 3. Gonna go a full groove higher, try and get that rotation through the center, see if he can turn down to the inside, get to that left rear. Proverbial white flag is in the air, 1.5 miles to determine who's going to get the first Speedway stage victory of the season.
Yeah, Dalton doing a really good job running the middle, but he's going to be pinned on the bottom here by the 20. So, yeah, you see him get a little bit tight. I mean, you can't really roll the bottom that well when you got a car hanging on your outside.
Christian Ruse has made his way up into the third spot. That Teasley's going backwards in a hurry. Actually, caution's out. Teasley's in trouble, and he's gotten into Matt Davies. Caution's going to fly. Stage is going to end under yellow.
Yeah, I can't really tell what happened there. A lot of cars coming together there. You know, that's value. That's right along the edge right there for an extra point for whoever finishes inside the top 5. So, I mean, guys just being really aggressive for even 1 point. It just shows you how much they matter.
Well, the caution was going to come out regardless when Noah Jackson crossed the start-finish line to complete that 53rd lap, ending stage 1. But it comes out instead for cause. Let's take a look and see exactly what happened here. This was up inside of the top 10 or top 5, just inside of the top 10. It was mentioned that Ruse had actually made his way up into 3rd. Kleinsma, I believe, had gotten around for 4th, and I think that Teasley and Davies were in a fight for what was going to be the 5th position. Actually, this was around where Kleinsma was as well. 3 wide off of the corner, and yeah, it's hard to tell from that angle. Maybe the 33 gets into the right rear quarter panel of the 32. There almost looked like there was a bit of contact between Teasley and Kleinsma prior to that also, but close racing there amongst 3 drivers inside of the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, it gets really tight. I mean, close quarters are very hard to judge here in iRacing, and yeah, once you get really close like that off the corner, any little contact can send your car around. It's really sensitive to rear quarter panel contact. So, yeah, unfortunate there for all those involved, and they're going to sustain some damage, but we still have a long way to go in this race. It's just over 100 laps, looks like maybe 120 to go. So, yeah, it's going to be a long time to get some damage repaired, but yeah, it sucks for those guys, and I don't think they'll be getting any stage points either.
We mentioned about seeing drivers like Jeffrey Kleinsma and Ryan White work their way back up towards the front after sustaining damage from earlier incidents, so we may still yet see the 32 and the 33 get up here into the conversation once we draw closer to the end of this race, but certainly not the way that either one of those drivers wanted to end off stage number 1 here tonight at Las Vegas. Noah Jackson going to get himself valuable 10 points for picking up that stage victory as he and the rest of the field all down pit road. 20 team held serve on pit lane, so he gets onto pit road first, off of pit road first, ahead of Dalton McKenney, Christian Ruse, Greg Wood, and Quinn Newton. Looks like Ryan White, Jeffrey Vickery, Jeffrey Kleinsma, Travis Rodriguez, and Gavin Hutchinson going to be the top 10 when we go back green. Not believe we had any lucky dog driver under this caution. We do have 3 drivers that are multiple laps down. The 31 of Brock Whitehead currently being scored 12 laps down in the 29th position. Wally Babb has returned to the track. He's currently 13 laps down, so he might actually pick up a spot here in a lap or 2. And David Harris still out on the racetrack as well, albeit 20 laps down to the race leader. If you're just joining us, we're working our 5th caution of the night. Just completed the first stage. We do have 4 drivers out of the race: Justin Hutchinson, Brandon Cooper, Patrick McQuaid, and Johnny Williams. And we've talked about a lot of drivers here tonight that had great runs at Daytona that are following it up with good runs. There are a couple of drivers that will be interesting to see where their positioning is when we go to Michigan next week that came into this race top 10, top 15 in overall points, specifically Kirby Wainscott, who was involved in a wreck earlier on tonight. Same for Patrick McQuaid. A couple of drivers that more than likely are going to find themselves free-falling out of the current initial playoff standings. Still a long season to go, but not the build off of Daytona that those drivers certainly were looking for.
Yeah, negative momentum is really hard to overcome, and you kind of get into a slump and think you can't do it. Contact Greg Wood around. Oh, what a save.
Wow. I think we're getting to the point I'm going to have to use my second hand to count the saves here tonight. Gracious.
Yeah, unbelievable job. I'm not sure how he saved that, and everybody got around him to avoid him as well. No major contact.
He's up inside the top 5 when he had that moment. Going to drop now almost outside of the top 20, but could have been a lot worse for driver number 67. Let's see if we can real quickly jump back, take a look at a replay of that, because more than likely, by all rights and purposes, that should have been caution number 6.
Oh, absolutely, especially going through turns 1 and 2. I mean, everybody is just on a restart and trying to get up to speed, so maybe that helped in everybody avoiding him. But wow, I mean, Joe, what a way to hang on to that race car.
Quinn Newton getting into his left rear quarter panel. He had a couple of drivers right down on the apron to be able to avoid, but all the space he needed to gather the thing back up, and we remain under the green flag. These drivers now chasing the conclusion of lap 106 to complete the second stage and set sail for the final stage to the checkered flag here tonight. Jeffrey Kleinsma now on the charge of Dalton McKenney. He'll move into the second spot. Ryan White now looking to build off that loss of momentum of the 46. He's going to challenge for third.
15 got a twofer on that lap. A huge run off the top in 1 and 2. Passes Ryan White through turns 1 and 2 and gets the run and passes McKinney through 3 and 4. And looking for the race lead. What speed out of this 15.
Yeah, we're seeing right now really a lot of what we're going to be talking about when we get to Michigan next week. Momentum. If you've got that surge of momentum, you've got to take it somewhere. If you end up breathing the throttle or put in a compromised position aerodynamically wise, you're not only going to lose one spot, but you might be in danger of losing a couple of spots, as everybody behind you is going to be willing to take advantage of your situation. Next week at Michigan going to be no different. Going to be all about momentum, and that'll be interesting to see when we go to a track that's a little bit more spacious in terms of the racing grooves and a little bit longer in terms of race configuration. 2 miles to tonight's 1.5 miles.
Yeah, it's going to be like Daytona last week, but with dirty air from this week. I mean, it's going to be an insane show. Michigan always puts on great racing, and I can't wait for next week to come. But, man, we got a great race brewing right now. The 15 is all over the back bumper of the 20.
Riding in the tire tracks down the front stretch. Let's see what Kleinsma does here as they approach turn number 1. Wow, right up close to that left rear. And that's a tactic, right? That's a speedway. Tank pack air! Oh, too much air! Got the 20 loose, up the track. Kleinsma is around. He tagged Ryan White. Christian Ruse involved as well.
That's really unfortunate. I mean, a big shot. I mean, you can get guys really loose by getting them right on their back bumper. I think that's exactly what happened between the 15 and the 20, and the 20 unable to hold on to it. Unfortunately, the 15 is the one that goes around.
Another battle up at the front goes wrong. Jeffrey Kleinsma, who is trying to get the lead from Noah Jackson. The two get together. Some pretty significant damage there on the front end of Kleinsma's machine. Teammate Christian Ruse got involved as well. Let's go back and take a look. We were on board, looking forward from the 15 as he was trying to make that move. Here's a look again via the replay of what happened. And you mentioned about the 20 of Noah Jackson able to save it, but he might have had a little damage as well that he's going to have to deal with here.
Yeah, it definitely looked like he tank slapped the wall, and that's what kind of bounced him off into Kleinsma. And yeah, Roos, I mean, huge contact to the front end of his race car as well. They're going to be repairing some damage, but it's nothing that, Jeff Kleinsma's not used to. He's already repaired some damage on the right front, so he'll be looking to try to repair the front end and get back up to the front.
Absolutely. Boy, I'll tell you, just looking at the 20 of Noah Jackson, just how quickly that car got out of shape. I mean, there was no contact at that point made between him and Jeffrey Kleinsma. As you say, it's all air. He packed the air down the back end of that race car. It takes the side force away, and that thing just wants to go on its own. Oh, Ryan White, right front contact there, and then the shot from Christian Ruse. Amazing as it might seem, though, only looks like 4 drivers getting involved in this incident with significant contact. You would certainly think that close up to the front of the field, kind of similar to what we saw the incident with Chris Otto off of turn 2 earlier on tonight, that we would have seen more drivers involved. So nice at least to see that we kept the numbers low of the drivers collected in this incident.
Yeah, I mean, luckily the car count, like you said, is low, but unfortunately, everybody that's involved does have pretty significant damage, like you said. So it's a little bit of a trade-off that I don't think these guys like to see, but it's definitely nice to see some guys with awareness and being able to miss an accident. But yeah, for the guys involved, I mean, that's heavy, heavy damage.
So 6th caution of the night here at Las Vegas. Looks like rookie Quinn Newton is going to inherit the race lead. As a matter of fact, we're going to have a few rookies up here at the front. David Lorfano right there behind him. Charles Childress, first time we mentioned him here tonight. He's now in the 3rd spot. His teammate Jax Matthews going to be 4th with Dalton McKenney. Looks like he's going to be in the 5th position. The top 4 stayed out under this yellow. Everybody else behind came to pit road. Majority taking fuel only. A few drivers back there. Looks like may have taken on a set of tires, but that's well outside of the top 15.
Yeah, fuel only the strategy as well. It's really close in the 2nd stage. We've already had a few cautions here, so it does help with fuel. But coming in and filling it up actually helps, keep the rear end planted, and it helps with the it puts more weight in the rear. So if you are running a little lower on fuel, it can actually make the rear end a little light, and your car doesn't want to stick in the banking. It kind of doesn't have the push down into the banking like you would normally have, and it can help with weight transfer as well. When you got more fuel in the car, it helps the car turn. So yeah, a lot of strategy coming into play, but yeah, we were really close on fuel again, so I think these guys just taking it just in case they don't want to chance anything.
Boy, a tough night for Brock Whitehead. He was on pit road. They were trying to get that car repaired, getting back out there, log some laps, but it looks like he has retired from the race. Another driver coming off a great run last week at Daytona, was 2nd in the overall points coming into this evening, involved in a wreck on the back straightaway. And it looks like, at least for the time being, he is going to be scored in the 30th position at the conclusion of tonight's race here at Las Vegas. So another driver that we're going to be talking about trying to bounce back next week in the Irish Hills at Michigan. Chevrolets swept the top 5 on that restart as Quinn Newton leads the field through 1 and 2. Side by side, it's going to be between Charles Childress, David Lorfano for the 2nd position. Look at them fanning out 3 wide, middle of the pack there. That might be some of those drivers on the fresher tires trying to make up some ground.
Oh, 13 goes around through 3 and 4. He's up into the wall, no caution yet. Man, sideways in front of the field. Surprised he's the only one involved in that.
Yeah, another driver as well. The 52 of Jax Matthews also got loose there through 3 and 4, right in front of traffic, and was able to gather it back up. So a few drivers right there with some heart-stopping moments right in the middle of double wide, 3 wide traffic.
Yeah, unbelievable job again by everybody not getting involved in that one. The 13 probably sustained a substantial amount of damage on the right side of his race car, but yeah, nobody else involved, and we keep on racing.
I mentioned about the fact that, obviously we're in the arid desert heat of Nevada, but it is nighttime conditions. They've turned the lights on here at this facility. Ambient temperature 87 degrees, the track temperature 92 degrees. As the track continues to cool, you already talked about these cars being unhappy in the back end, the lower the fuel load is. What about the cooler track conditions on restarts with maybe some cool, slick, worn tires? Does that also present an issue for these drivers on the initial starts and restarts?
Yeah, I mean, it's already difficult to drive in dirty air, but you factor in not having any weight in the rear, not having a lot of weight transfer because of that, because these cars carry so much fuel. Yeah, you can run the top to try to offset it, but you're also going to burn the right side tires off of it doing so. So it's really a balancing act and trying to keep your car in clean air, like I said, but being able to drive where your car is happy driving with everything that you have on it, with fresh tires and your fuel load. So yeah, it's going to be really difficult, to drive the race car with not a lot of fuel and really worn tires. And yeah, I mean, you just really got to save that right front tire. That's the biggest key in keeping your car in clean air.
I feel like we need to coin that phrase. Your car is happy driving. I've never heard that before, but that makes so much sense.
Yeah, I mean, your car has really got its own attitude, and the driver can only do so much in these next gens. I mean, the Gen 6, you can wheel that thing and make it drive, you can drive it to make it tight or you can drive it to make it loose. In this car, you really don't have a choice. I mean, with all the dirty air and the way that the downforce works on this car, you can drive your own line really slow and still wear the crap out of the right front tire. I mean, dirty air, one of the biggest components of today's racing in these race cars, and it shows. You just have to kind of drive a little bit aggressive, but yeah, drive where your car is driving really well, and you're going to have to adjust the way that you drive based on that.
We're not even halfway through this race, and we're already talking about drivers coming back from adversity. See Gavin Hutchinson losing a spot. That is Chris Otto, who we saw wrecking while trying to take the race lead back. He was off sequence with a couple of drivers ahead of him on tires. Went around, hit the outside wall a ton with the front of that race car. They've done a tremendous repair job on that 88. He's back up here in the 4th position, and just behind him, Greg Wood. We saw him wrecking on the previous restart. He's now fighting for a spot back up inside of the top 5.
Yeah, I mean, he went from top 5 to outside of the top 20 so fast, but yeah, here he is back up here in that 67 Toyota, getting back up in the top 5, going around Gavin Hutchinson.
Wood will complete that pass to take the 5th position. Behind them, Charles Childress under fire. Here comes what is now going to be the highest running of the Dark Horse Mustangs. That is Zachary Woods. That Mark Martin throwback. Going to pick up the 7th position. It's almost kind of like what we said last week. There were a lot of drivers that we really didn't talk about until the end of the race, but that was a good thing, because if we didn't really mention your name, it meant you, for the most part, you kept your car out of trouble and were able to be there for the final dance. Case in point, Zachary Wood here tonight. We've seen him a couple of times do some great job in avoiding wrecks that were up ahead of him, and now he's currently solidly inside of the top 10 positioning.
Yeah, the one thing Zach is most famous for in this league is 1 year at Pocono. I mean, the man was 22 laps down, and after so many cautions, he finished the race on the lead lap. Now, he's looking to put that in his rear view and get a win here tonight, but yeah, he's a solid veteran for this race league and is back full-time racing this year in the number 6, a number change. That is pretty cool to see on his race car. It used to be number 60, but that number 6 looks really good on that Dark Horse Mustang as he's driving his way up to the top 5.
Great battle going on here for 2nd place. Dalton McKinney going to make his way around David Lorfano. Chris Otto watching this battle just ahead of him. This taking place just about 0.7 of a second behind Quinn Newton. What's it going to be like for Quinn Newton? We mentioned about the fact that here tonight, this racetrack, 7 different races, 7 different drivers have gone to victory lane. 4 of those race winners, it was their only start at this venue when they took the checkered flag. For a rookie to be out in front leading here at Las Vegas, maybe know those numbers here, a track that could very well cater towards a rookie getting their first victory of this series. What's that got to be like for Quinn Newton in the cockpit right now?
Yeah, we talked about it at the kickoff at the start of this race that I wouldn't be surprised if a rookie gets it done. And man, Quinn Newton's in a really good position. You know, the score sheet shows that he's got 9 lap fresher tires than Otto and McKinney, but yeah, really it's only about 3 or 4 green flag laps. So it's all about controlling the air, and you're really just mirror driving, trying to keep the guy behind you in dirty air. But he's doing a really good job just rolling the center and taking it real easy on exit and not burning his tires. But it's got to be nerve-wracking as a rookie, in a big rookie class, might I add, out front leading laps in position to get a stage win, and not only that, and try to get a race win.
Didn't have the greatest run at Daytona, but didn't have a bad run either. Kind of right in the middle. Comes into this race actually one of the 3 drivers in that tie for the 15th position in the standings. A little bit further back, seeing some jostling outside of the top 10. Jeffrey Vickery trying to draw a beat on Thad Teasley. Just behind him, Hunter West in the 17, Alonzo King. And if you look just a little ways behind them, you will see the 20 of Noah Jackson, who was involved in that last wreck after the contact up there at the front between himself and Jeffrey Kleinsma. He's currently still on the lead lap. Maybe not quite the same amount of speed in that race car as there was prior to the contact into the outside wall, but at least for the moment kind of riding. I think can kind of visibly see maybe still some right side damage. Now, we know there's going to be a guaranteed caution coming up here at the conclusion of lap 106. Is there some stuff that can happen here, some future repair jobs under a few more caution periods that could get Noah Jackson back up to the competitiveness that he was at in the opening first stage?
Yeah, one thing you're wondering is with that slap off the right side wall, did he break the toe link or bend it on the right front? Because if you do that, that's a long time just to repair that one part, and that's not affecting, changing your fender and getting that fixed out. So if he did bend the toe link, it looks like they might have had that fixed, but he just doesn't have the speed. It looks like that right front's still pretty beat up, and yeah, he's going to have to rely on a couple more cautions. We got, like you said, we got one coming up, here in about 20-ish laps, but yeah, he's going to have to get that fixed some more to be able to be back in contention for the race win.
Saw Matt Mettler back in the first stage doing a yeoman's job on old tires, holding off the field, trying to gain stage points. I think he finished 12th in stage 1, but since then things have gone south for the driver of the number 7, as I think he might actually be peeling off onto pit road here. I noticed him get up into the outside wall. It was interesting you mentioned about the 20 knocking out the toe. As soon as I saw Mettler get up into the wall, he shook the car back and forth. Is that the driver trying to check, make sure if the toe is out of sync?
Yeah, you kind of shake it back and forth to see the responsiveness of the wheel and where your car's pointing, and if it doesn't move very well, then you definitely got a bent toe link. And I mean, even just the slightest bend, it's really hard to tell when you do that shaking back and forth, but you'll know whenever you go in the corner, the car's not pointing the way you want it to. It's one of two things. It's either really bad dirty air or you got a bent toe link and you got to come down and get it fixed. And unfortunately on iRacing, it's the same amount of time, whether it's slightly bent or it's completely broken. So yeah, getting that changed out is about 2.5 minutes on pit road maximum. And then, like I said, with the fender damage and everything, you're looking at possibly 5-6 minutes just to get that fixed and get back in a good aerodynamic position.
I'll tell you something. We've had 7 different drivers win here at Las Vegas in the previous 7 races, unless Chris Reese, who's currently in the 18th position, is able to find his way up to the front late and pick up what would be his second victory at this venue. We are guaranteed going 8 for 8, because I mentioned that coming into tonight's race, 3 previous winners took the green flag to start this race. 2 of them are in the garage area, and Patrick McQuaid and Brock Whitehead. Reese is the only former winner at Las Vegas that is still running here tonight.
Yeah, it's pretty wild that, we keep having different winners, and a lot of it has to do with turnover in the league. We got a lot of guys stay. But yeah, I mean, unfortunate for the other 2 guys that have been involved in an accident, but Chris Reese is able to make some history if he's able to get back up to the front. But we got to battle back for the lead right now. Otto looking to the bottom.
Yeah, Chris Otto maybe trying to get that stage victory that eluded him in stage 1, as he will clear off of turn 2. Quinn Newton now under fire. Here comes Dalton McKenney trying to take that spot, and Greg Wood not that far back as well, wants to join with this trio of Chevrolet bow ties.
Yeah, and I don't think that was dirty air as much as it is just, the tires are finally showing their age with clean air for Quinn Newton. Maybe he did kind of push it a little hard for the first 5-10 laps, and that's all it takes. I mean, once your tire gets up to temp, you got to really take it easy to get it back under control and cooled back off. And yeah, it looks like Otto is kind of driving away with it right now, but Quinn Newton battling really hard on the outside.
So for most of these drivers up here inside of the top 5, they were last on pit road at lap 64. Quinn Newton and a couple of others like David Lorfano, they were last on pit road on lap 55. What is the situation for both of those particular drivers that pitted at those certain points to be able to get the conclusion of stage 2 at 106?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to be good on fuel, but, even if it was only 4 or 5 laps on green flag, you're going to feel it. And it looks like he's starting to feel it a little bit. Chris Otto is just, back up front and driving really well as Dalton McKinney. But, yeah, getting to the end of the stage, no problem. It's just a matter of how far you're going to slide back. And for Quinn Newton, as long as he stays inside the top 5, I think it's a pure win for him. I mean, he's getting a lot of points, taking that gamble and staying out. And it's going to work for him if he's able to stay in the top 5 and get himself 5 stage points.
Chris Otto about to encounter some slower traffic. That is the 14 of Christian Roos, who we saw involved in that last wreck when he got into the side of his teammate Jeffrey Kleinsma right here on the back straightaway. He was on the tail end of the lead lap, will now be the first car 1 lap down in the 26th position. Adam Stewart has also gone a lap down, and we saw Matt Mettler have that issue. It looks like they've taken his car back behind the wall. We talk about the fact that beginning of a season, the points are always so close. It doesn't matter if it's Daytona, whatever racetrack it is, the points are literally so close. We mentioned about the number of ties that we had coming into tonight. If you are going to take advantage of making leaps and bounds through the points, better to have the good runs early on in the season when the points are close rather than when they start spreading out about midway through the regular season. On the flip side, you don't want to run into issues in the early going of the season because you will free fall like a rock through the points. Just up the road from the race leader is last week's winner, Peyton Holland, still sporting the damage when he got into the side of Brock Whitehead in an earlier yellow flag. That car obviously not up to speed. He's on the same straightaway as the leader, in danger of going a lap down as we approach halfway.
Yeah, I mean, and luckily in front of Peyton, you got a long ways to go for the next car. So if he does go a lap down, he'll be in position for the lucky dog. But man, an incredible job just to even still be out here after everybody that's had trouble, and he's got significant front end damage still, but he's out there showing the never give up spirit. He's going to keep trying to earn points, and it's working out for him because we got a lot of guys out of this race, and he's currently running 25th, like you said, but I don't think we're done having cautions either. So more cars could come out of this race, or he could get some more damage repaired.
A lot of drivers soldiering on, so those that would be a part of that army, if you will: Christian Roos, Holland, as we mentioned, Jeffrey Kleinsma, CJ Papa, Charles Whitehead, Kirby Wainscott, Jax Matthews, all currently running outside of the top 20, but just approaching halfway here, so long ways to go. Anything can still happen. There's nothing to say that those drivers, with the circumstances right now, couldn't finish out the night inside of the top 15, top 20. You mentioned about that story of Zach Woods from 22 laps down, coming back to finish on the lead lap. So it just kind of shows if you stick it out, you might be able to come away with some little bit of a reward.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What was that saying? Good things happen to those who wait.
Yes, indeed.
And, yeah, so I mean, Peyton's really looking forward to that. And yeah, we got about 15-ish laps to the end of the stage, maybe 20. My math is horrible. I think we have, I don't know. But anyways, Peyton is looking to try to hold on, and he's really rooting for the 88 not to get past the 4 here within the next 10 to 15 laps.
Zachary Woods just made his way around Quinn Newton, making his way now a spot further up inside of the top 5. He'd be one of those drivers that looks to advance multiple spots in the standings after the conclusion of Daytona last week. Came into tonight's race 23rd in the standings. Again, the highest running of the Fords. You mentioned about the Chevrolets having the numbers here in this series. Toyota's not that far behind, but definitely the underdog, it seems, in terms of numbers here this season, are those blue ovals.
Yeah, I think only one team, Spin Move Racing, is wearing the Ford emblem on their race cars, but yeah, I mean, they're not going to back down from any challenge, and Chris Reese joins them as well. So yeah, that makes 4 out of the 35 that started tonight, with the blue oval. But yeah, those 4 are going to really try to work together and overcome the other 2.
About to complete lap 95. That'll put us 11 laps away from the conclusion of stage 2. Drivers will then get ready for 71 laps in the 3rd and final stage. Chris Otto continuing to show the way. New second-place driver, however. About 5 laps ago, Greg Wood made his way around Dalton McKenney, maybe looking for the Toyota sweep of the stages here tonight. Toyota swept the stages last week at Daytona as well. McKenney back in the 3rd spot with the Ford of Zach Woods in 4th. Quinn Newton still continuing to hold on strong in the 5th position. A couple of drivers that have been side by side for about the last 3 laps back here in the latter half of the top 10. Gavin Hutchinson, Charles Childress, David Lorfano, they just can't stop being side by side with each other. As soon as one gets cleared, the other one crosses them over.
Yeah, and a lot of it is just preference on, like I said, where your car wants to run. I mean, these guys could be, wanting to run the bottom really well. You see Charles Childress with a huge run through turn 2 and getting clear of Gavin Hutchinson, but we'll see if the one goes back to the outside, and if he does, yeah, I mean, he does. It's just looking for clean air and running wherever your car is happy running. So these guys doing a great job of managing their stuff so far, and they're racing really well.
Alonzo King, that bright pink number 80, now going to get to the inside. The inverted numbers, the 80 against the 08. That is for the 10th position. Hunter West, good run there on the inside line. That gray number 17 Skittles machine. Not too far behind them, Another driver that's been really quiet here tonight, Chris Hubka. New colors on that number 5 Chevrolet as he's making his way closer up towards the top 10. And there's Noah Jackson right on his back bumper. Was talking about Noah back there outside the top 15. Well, don't look now. He's up to 14th place, and he's trying to knock on the door of the top 10.
Yeah, slowly but methodically working his way up there. And even with that right front damage, he's doing a great job at saving his tires. And he's able to make the top work and get a huge run. We'll see him try to make a move here on the 5. Oh, he's actually just going to stay behind him. Give him a little bit of a boost going into turn 3.
A lot of speed out of Chris Otto in this 88. Put that Chevrolet on the pole position. Was out in front for a good portion of the beginning of this race. Little off sequencing of tires put him in a troublesome spot. He ended up spinning out from the 2nd position. Little bit of damage, and has since been able to fight his way back up. Did not get the stage points he was looking for at the conclusion of stage 1. Now trying to make him up here in stage number 2 as he'll cross the line. We are a couple laps away from when the flagman will have the caution waving to conclude this 2nd stage. He'll get around CJ Papa, which that is bad news for Peyton Holland. You mentioned about him being in position for the lucky dog. Well, now with Papa going a lap down, same for Kleinsma, that would take the 18 out of the conversation, at least for the moment of getting the free pass on this upcoming yellow.
Yeah, I mean, he's still kind of holding serve a little bit back there, but I'm not sure he's going to pass these two guys here before the end of the stage with about 4 to go. But, yeah, I mean, you're just going to have to keep sticking it out. If you get trapped a lap down, you get trapped a lap down. You know, there could be a surge of yellows where, you know, the guys in front of you get lucky dogs, and then it's your turn. So, yeah, he's going to be looking to try to get every point he can, and it wouldn't be surprised for him to pit with everybody and just stay a lap down.
Could make that battle between Kleinsma and Papa maybe for the lucky dog position interesting, as saw Zachary Woods trying to pick up a spot on Dalton McKenney. He'll try again here on the low side through 3 and 4, but not quite going to be able to get to the left rear on corner exit. Chris Otto will cross the line, put lap 103 on the board. Next time by, when he crosses the line, we should see the caution waving. Otto enjoying a nearly half-second lead. Back to Greg Wood. Wood then with another 2 seconds. Back to Dalton McKenney. And it looks like, as he makes his way through 3 and 4, the pole sitter going to pick up 10 valuable points, as Chris Otto can be the first Chevrolet actually to claim a stage victory this season, as well as he'll take stage number 2 here tonight at Las Vegas.
Yeah, and a great job by Quinn Newton. I mean, he dropped a few positions after a little bit in that run, but he's holding on P5 right there for some valuable 5 points in the stage.
Great points for Woods as well. Rodriguez, who I think Newton and Rodriguez actually 5th and 6th. I think they were 2/3 of that tie for 15th place coming into tonight. Jeffrey Vickery, Charles Childress, Alonzo King, as well as Hunter West. Your top 10 here is, looks like they're going to extend throwing that caution here. Oh, actually, no, they're actually going to keep racing because I apparently can't count. They've got 2 laps to go here in this stage. I thought in my head it was lap 103. It was actually lap 106.
I'll tell you what, that makes this battle for 5th really interesting if those 2 guys are tied, because Travis Rodriguez just got around the outside of Quint Newton.
It's a good thing the drivers knew when the stage ended, because I would have Mark Martined them and had them all slowing down a couple laps before they should have.
I've been in one race at Richmond where somebody pulled off while we were pacing coming to the end of the race, and he did not win the race. I mean, that was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
It's always funny when it happens to someone else, right?
Oh, yeah, I definitely would not want to be that guy doing it.
So this battle for 3rd place, it continues. Woods trying to get the 3rd position from Dalton McKenney. Trying that inside line. He's able to get alongside through the center of the corner. Just can't get the run off. Oh, he might actually get him cleared. Here he is going to get him cleared. And that was crucial because they're now coming to conclude lap 106. So now, officially, stage 2 is over. Otto is officially the winner of the 2nd stage here tonight, Las Vegas. There is the caution. It's the first caution thrown tonight that is not for cause. We ended up having a wreck take place just prior to the throwing of the caution to conclude stage number 1. And what a comeback for Chris Otto. I mean, we saw him wrecked midway through the 1st stage. Who would have thought that here, about 70 laps later, that we were going to be seeing him crossing the line P1 to pick up 10 valuable points.
A huge job again by Travis Rodriguez, getting up in the top 5. He's going to get 5 valuable stage points, and yeah, it's crucial because he's definitely one of the guys down there battling to get into the top 16.
Lucky dog is going to go to Jeffrey Kleinsma. We had 20 drivers on the lead lap at the time that caution flew back to Matt Davies. So Kleinsma, 21st, 1 lap down, would be in the free pass position. Some interesting names off the lead lap. Could make things interesting in future battles for the free pass should we get some future cautions in the upcoming 3rd and final stage. So you talked about it before we even took the green flag here tonight. This racetrack known for drivers gambling when it comes to pit strategy. We are now looking ahead to a 71 lap 3rd stage. At this point in time, are the wheels turning for these drivers, trying to kind of plan out potential timing of any future yellows, or even if this thing goes green to the end, what their strategy is going to be? Because we know we have at least a guaranteed pit stop coming up between now and the checkered flag.
Yeah, I mean, if you're thinking that it's gonna go green to the end, you're thinking about whether you're gonna split it in half, or if you like going 40-ish laps, or even trying to run it dry and just come in and take as little fuel as you can while taking tires. I mean, it's all gonna happen really fast. The one thing that's gonna set it off is somebody inside the top 5 is going to pit when they want to, and then you'll see everybody else starting to pit right after, because you don't want to be too different on tires. You lose a lot of time, especially after about 20 to 30 laps. If somebody's on fresher tires, you lose a lot of time per lap. So when one person pits, a lot of them are going to be pitting pretty soon. So it's just a matter of when.
We've seen a number of drivers here tonight have to overcome some adversity, involved in some wrecks. Of course, our race leader, Chris Otto, no exception. I look up here inside of the top 10, top 15. Ryan White currently in the 8th position. Kirby Wainscott in the 10th spot. These drivers have had a number of laps here this evening. Their incidents happening early on, so they've been able to have a window of time to be able to get the repairs done, to get themselves back up into contention. But now as we venture into this 3rd stage, from here on out, if you're involved in an incident, has the window of opportunity closed, where more than likely if you're involved in a wreck, that is your opportunity gone? Or do you think there are enough laps that if you're involved in an incident, say 10 laps from now, you still have enough time, still have enough race to be able to get back up into the conversation again, like some of these drivers have been able to do?
We're going to restart with about 67 laps to go. So I'd say your window kind of closes to fix your damage, depending on how much you have, with about 40 to go. If you get in an accident after 40 laps left, I mean, you kind of got what you got at that point. You're riding it out and hoping other people wreck out, because you're definitely not going to want to go a lap down repairing damage or anything like that. So, yeah, I mean, if you get caught up in an accident at all, you can kind of come down and fix your damage, but it's really crucial, to have it happen before 40 laps to go, because that's pretty much a full fuel run, and if no other cautions come out, I mean, it's going to be really hard to make your positions back up. We got contact under yellow.
That is the 33 of Teasley up in front of Jax Matthews. I saw that it looked like there was some miscommunication as to who was supposed to line up where back around that area. I think Gavin Hutchinson was swinging down low 3 wide, and that confusion might have led to the contact, and race officials will actually add on an extra lap of pacing as a result.
Yeah, the 32 coming down the racetrack a little bit into the 33. He gets loose off of that. I'm not sure what happened, but yeah, he goes around and hits the 33 in the left front, in front of the left rear. Sorry, right rear up into the field, and he gets some more contact from other cars.
Teasley's going to come back down pit road, get some of that damage repaired. Right front damage on his Chevrolet. Looks like a number of the lap cars also coming in. Also the free pass car of Jeff Kleinsma. One thing we do have to follow up on here, interestingly, just a few laps before the caution came out to conclude the stage, David Lorfano came to pit road, took on service, lost a lap in the interim. When the caution came out in the leader's pit, he took the wave around. So he is back on the lead lap, but not exactly sure what prompted him to make the pit stop prior to the stage concluding. Circumstances working out for him to at least be on the lead lap for this upcoming restart, but he's going to find himself, according to scoring, about 5 laps shorter on fuel than everybody else ahead of him. Chris Otto, the control car, has elected the outside line for this restart. Greg Wood, second place, will be to his inside. Dalton McKinney, Zachary Woods, Travis Rodriguez, that is your top 5. Stage 3. Green here at Las Vegas. Chasing the checkered flag at the end of regulation, lap 177. Doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be where the race will end. We could potentially end up seeing another overtime finish here this evening. We saw one last week at Daytona.
Yeah, this track can either produce it or not. I mean, it's been hit and miss if we hit regulation or not at this racetrack. I think we've hit regulation out of the last 3 races all 3 times. But, yeah, I mean, we could see green, white checkers tonight, definitely, with how the racing's been.
File amongst the top 5. 6th place on back, side-by-side racing. Vickery tried to get to the right rear quarter panel of Travis Rodriguez. Charles Childress to the inside of Ryan White. Just behind them, Kirby Wainscott, another driver that earlier on tonight had a lot of damage on his Toyota. Done a great job of soldiering on, sticking it out. Great repair jobs on pit road, and now he's up here inside of the top 10.
Yeah, really unfortunate for Thad Teasley, still on pit road repairing damage after that caution incident. Yeah, his day went from pretty solid to really bad in an instant there under yellow.
Gotta wonder, I don't believe that the 52 of Jax Matthews came down pit road for any repairs, and he was the one that got into the 33 of Teasley over there in the entrance of turn 3, so any damage sustained on the front nose of his machine, you got to think he's dealing with that during the duration of this run as battle continues around the 4th position. Zachary Woods looking low. Travis Rodriguez. Ryan White keeps looking like he wants to maybe get a run to take it 3 wide, just not quite able to generate it off of turn 2. Took a peek to the inside that time down the back straightaway, thought better of it.
Yeah, Ryan White being really aggressive, but I'll tell you who else is. Greg Wood battling Chris Otto for the race lead. He's running the bottom, being really aggressive, and he's able to hold on to side by side, and that's just going to drag the 46 back into this battle as well.
These 2 drivers up here, they know what's at stake right now. Both putting together solid outings here this evening, and both potentially could be battling to see who is going to be the new points leader when we go to Michigan next week. Drivers around them in the standings running into issues here tonight. Peyton Holland off the lead lap. Noah Jackson with a damaged race car. Brock Whitehead out of the race. So might be just a little bit more at stake between these 2 in this side-by-side outside of being the race leader and battling for the checkered flag here tonight.
Yeah, and then a trade-off for removing win and you're in the points. You know, first place awards 8 additional points over second place. So it's not a 1-point difference, it's 8. So that matters a lot as well, especially if you've had some great stage results. So, yeah, we made winning more important with that as you know, not locking yourself in, but it does award more points than second place.
Boy, these 2 cannot shake each other. Otto on the top, Wood on the bottom. Still door-to-door as they enter into turn 1. Wood able to get that solid entry into the corner, but then Otto, you can just see the slingshot momentum. He gets off the top side, little side draft down the back straightaway. Neither driver giving an inch. I think about a lap and a half ago, Otto was actually up and brushing the outside wall. So these 2, they are tooth and nail fighting it out, and you know that Dalton McKinney back there in 3rd place is loving this because as they're side drafting each other, they're slowing each other down. That's allowing him to very quickly enter into the conversation.
Yeah, and you can see the strength and weakness of both lines if you're side by side. The bottom really good on entry, but if that outside car is able to just hang on your outside, you can't get the exit that you want. You can't go all the way out to the wall, and the outside car gets a huge run coming out of the corner, and these guys are, like you said, back and forth, and we'll see how long they can hold on to this.
Greg Wood all the way down there on the apron, all legal here at Las Vegas. Not necessarily something drivers normally use because, yes, it does shave off maybe a 10th or 2 of your lap time, but doesn't give you the best of entries into the corner either. A shallow entry into turn 1, but Greg Wood trying to use that to his advantage. It might be the little bit he needs to clear the 88.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing a great job at kind of being really aggressive and then checking up through the center to keep the car planted on the bottom of the racetrack. And yeah, you use the apron to just cut distance. I mean, you got to have some kind of advantage. And Yeah, it doesn't set you up very well into turn number one, but if you can clear that car with your momentum going into turn one, you're set off the corner. But yeah, he just can't get clear of the 88. 88 into the wall. Now he's
Whoop.
clear.
Yep, that's all he needed right there. Otto a little tight off of turn two. Whoa, right on the back bumper. Might have been trying to put that dirty air on the rear spoiler. Got himself tight in the process, and Greg Wood free and clear for the top position. I believe this is the first time that the 67 has led all night long.
Yeah, and Otto, I've been talking about all night, you got to get that left front in clean air, and he's able to do that. We'll see what kind of run he can generate off too.
Takes a look to the inside, try to get some left rear contact made. Wood able to hang on to it, but there was definitely contact between the two race leaders. It sent Wood up the racetrack. He gathers it up as Otto now goes back to the point.
Yeah, I think Otto was really just trying to dump air on the spoiler, and the 67 tried to cover and give dirty air to the front end of the 88, but 88 having none of it moves the 67 up the racetrack. Man, that's textbook bump and run right there, but now you really got to run.
That's the second time that Greg Wood has been slideways and able to hang on to it. Got one around in the back of the pack there. I believe that was Chris Reese in the 62 off the second corner. Caution will fly.
Yeah, luckily not too many involved in that one, but yeah, it looks like he's able to get it right and never went fully around.
Chris Reese, the only former winner here at Vegas that is still running on the racetrack, and it looks like might have gotten together with the 32 of Matt Davies. We take you back here to the entrance of turn one, see how this culminated through the first couple of corners. Reese actually clipping the apron, which sends him up across the nose of Matt Davies. Little assistance there as well from the 40 of Charles Whitehead, sends the 62 that'd be about 60 degrees facing the wrong way, but able to grab a gear, get it pointed back in the right direction, continue on.
Not sure really what caused the 62 to get on the apron, but yeah, nowhere for Davies to go. Gets into the rear bumper, 62 gets loose, and yeah, the 40 not checking up as much as he probably could in that situation, but yeah, just gets in the back of the 32, sends him into the 62, and he, yeah, pretty much pointing at the inside wall lights. I wouldn't be surprised if he got a little bit blinded by those really bright LEDs on there.
Is on board with Matt Davies. See that long slide by Chris Reese, but as you saw, top right of your screen, the rear view mirror, able to gather it back up, and this caution, interesting timing there. One of the drivers involved in that contact was the 40 of Charles Whitehead, and according to scoring, it looks like he would be in position to get the lucky dog, which would put 24 drivers on the lead lap.
Yeah, you talk about timing on the caution as well. We might restart with about 51 laps to go. And yeah, that is just outside the fuel window of these race cars. And we're looking at pretty much another of the first two stages. If this thing goes green, I mean, you're going to look at people trying to save fuel. But yeah, we're still a little bit short here, but everybody pretty much coming down pit road to fill it up.
Chris Otto with the first pit stall by virtue of being the pole sitter. I had the camera focused on him as we were getting ready to cut back to live, so it looked like he was going to be the first one off of pit road, but a fuel-only pit stop for Chris Hubka, going to put him as the race leader. Interesting strategy here for the 5 car. It's going to get him at least out in front and leading a lap or two. He'll be the control car, but what do you think about this? We already talked about drivers gambling in this third and final stage. It looks like the 5 of Hubka doing exactly that here, closing in on 50 to go.
Yeah, bold strategy, but we've seen this play out with the 5 before. We talk about 2023. Patrick McQuaid, wins the race after having an extra set of tires with about 15 laps left, and is able to pass the leaders and everybody after pitting. Who finished in second? Chris Hubka. These guys were battling it out, and so again, saving another set of tires as the 5 car. If we go 30 laps here, 35 laps, a lot of these guys might not have a set of tires left, but that 5 car will, and with not that many cars left in the race on the lead lap, he wouldn't fall very far back. So looking for another repeat of 2023 here, and trying to be the winner of this race this year.
It's interesting you mentioned that, because obviously, going back, looking at the previous seasons, mentioned the fact that this racetrack has had 7 previous races, and a lot of the drivers in this field have participated in most, if not all of them. How easy is it to kind of go back and look at the strategy of previous races and think, this almost worked out. Why don't I go back to that page of the playbook and see if I can get that one position better in the case of Hubka?
Yeah, it's different if you're a car that didn't pull off that situation and you're trying to learn from it. But yeah, for somebody being in that situation that almost won the race, him and Patrick battling it out, yeah, he knows that it works. And with Patrick being out, not too many guys are on the same strategy. But that 5 car looking to try to repeat and, like I said, flip it and be the race winner.
We will have 51 laps to go in regulation here as Chris Hubka on the inside line. The control car gets us back under the green. Great launch. We'll leave McKenny and Otto side by side for second place. I did a double check and it does not look like we had a Lucky Dog recipient under that yellow flag. So we remain with 22 drivers on the lead lap. 3 wide for the top position.
Yeah, really aggressive there through the middle. I mean, Chris Otto forcing the 46 down to the bottom of the racetrack. 46 trying to use the 5 as a pick and get around the 88. But, man, a lot of battling going on right now. And Chris Hubka, all he's trying to do right now is just kind of hang on and not get involved in any accidents. He's got a strategy set. He's got his extra set of tires, and he's banking on a yellow here in about 20 or 25 laps. So, yeah, huge battle for the race lead. And Zach Woods up to third.
He's side by side with Greg Wood for that spot. Ryan White trying to make his way by Hubka, who right now priority number 1 is find a safe place to ride. The side drafting has been fierce here. We saw it earlier between Otto and Wood. Now we're seeing it between Otto and McKenny. These drivers got to have a lot of faith in the spacing of their race cars. A little contact made as they enter into turn 1.
Yeah, some late contact going into turn number 1. McKenny tried to be really sneaky with entering really late and keeping the 88 up on the racetrack, but huge run there by Chris Otto back side by side.
Great battling for the lead, great battling just in the latter half of the top 10, great battling out inside of the top 20 as McKenny will clear Chris Otto, who may have gotten just a little too high off a turn 4, new leader, driver 46.
Man, what a great job at managing the runs and like you said, side drafting, using it to your advantage, and he's able to get out in front and out in clean air. We'll see how he can perform.
So Greg Wood was able to hold off Zachary Woods. Now he's under fire from Ryan White for the 4th position. Behind them, Travis Rodriguez up on the top side, opens up the door potentially for Kirby Wainscott to get to the left rear quarter panel. That would be an ongoing battle for the 6th position as Hubka has dropped back to 9th place. Is there an optimal lap if you are Chris Hubka that you would love to see that caution come out to be able to have that tire advantage?
Yeah, I mean, anything after 15 to 20 laps, you're going to notice it. But really, what he's hoping for is a caution around 20 laps to go. That gives him enough time to get up to the front, and that's enough time for these guys to have run on their tires that they have on right now for it to really make a huge difference and show up in the lap time category. So, yeah, he's just kind of riding right now, and around that 150 to 155 lap is when he's hoping for the caution to come out.
Mentioned about both Chris Otto and Greg Wood when we saw their side-by-side battle, potentially duking it out to see who was going to be the new points leader going into next week at Michigan. Well, Dalton McKenny could also be in that conversation. He was 8th in points coming into tonight, only 15 points out of the top position, and now has his car out in clean air.
Yeah, he's going to be looking to control the air on the 88 and 67. Zach Woods, man, super impressive. Just he's been up in the top 5 almost all night and top 10, and he's really showing his speed and really good long run cars. So look for him to kind of hang on to these 3, and if a caution doesn't come out, he could be right in contention. He's known to save fuel and get the job done. So Ryan White looking to his outside, but Zach Woods doing a really good job here in the top 5.
Really impressive runs for a lot of drivers here tonight. We've already talked about Travis Rodriguez, Kirby Wainscott, who was involved in an earlier incident, able to fight back up into the 7th spot. How about Hunter West, currently holding down the 8th position? Alonzo King, he was involved in an incident earlier on. He's in the 9th spot. And Quinn Newton, who got himself some valuable points back at the conclusion of stage 2. He's right now holding on to the final spot inside of the top 10. A lot of drivers here tonight that have been able to survive the early chaos, keep their cars in one piece, and right now are looking like they are going to be on the receiving end of some really decent runs, some really decent points in the second race of the season.
Yeah, and another guy that's kind of surging his way up, Jeff Kleinsman, looks like he's got that race car fixed. Really big push there to the 51 to try to get him clear of Charlie Childress. He's going to go the outside of both of them. What a pass. 51's really loose.
Oh, and Gavin Hutchinson up and into, I think that was Lorfano. Caution, I believe, is going to wave as the one is facing up against the outside wall. Look out, a little late contact for Thad Teasley in the 33. Caution will fly for the 9th time here tonight, but that was back around the 13th position as Gavin Hutchinson's car got all sorts of out of shape off the second corner.
Yeah, the 51 got really loose going through 1 and 2, and that's what enabled Kleinsma to go to the outside. But, yeah, I mean, just insane the way that car snapped around on him.
Go back and take a look at what happened. Chris Hubka had just fallen out of the top 10. I think it was in 11th place. Is this too soon for him to use that tire strategy?
I mean, we ran, what, about 10 or so laps? Not even, I don't think so. Yeah, a little bit too soon. I think anywhere within, even 10 laps to go, the strategy can still work as long as, we don't have a lot of guys on the lead lap. We got, what does it look like, 22. So, yeah, I mean, you can really make hay on the outside, and, as long as you got the clean air somewhat to the left front, you can make it happen. But, yeah, it's still too early right now for the 5 to have that advantage work. We should see him stay out. No, actually everybody's pitting.
That contact there for Noah Jackson. You mentioned about Vickery there as well. We're going to see again that late hit for Thad Teasley in the 33 car. It does look like, officially here under this caution flag, it will be the 40 of Charles Whitehead that will get the lucky dog, get back on the lead lap. So we should have 23 drivers on the lead lap here when we go back green. And it looks like, you mentioned about the speed and the 15 of Jeffrey Kleinsma. He's going to put that speed up front. He's going to stay out on about 12 lap older tires. Well, can't say that necessarily. It looks like the 4 behind him went with fuel only, but Dalton McKinney, Chris Otto, Ryan White, 6th back through 8th. He'll have about 12 lap older tires than those drivers.
Yeah, I'm not sure these guys behind him, had an extra set of tires left, and coming in, they're banking on this thing going green now. They were really close on fuel, like I was talking about. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be pretty insane to see how Jeffrey can hold it up there. I'm not sure if he meant to stay out. It looked like he actually missed the commitment line and started shading back down like, oh, crap, I just missed pit road. But at that point, it's too late, and you're going to get a penalty if you go down. So, yeah, not sure if he meant to stay out, but we'll see what happens here with the 15.
That Teasley's coming in this time. Looks like as well the 39 of David Hera. I believe that earlier on this race, when Hera was involved in an earlier wreck, he was slated to potentially finish around the 33rd position. He is still 19 laps down, but he has been able to progress his way past other drivers that are either still damaged on pit road or back behind the wall, right now in the 29th position. And you mentioned it, 29th position pays out more points than 33rd does, and with the no winning you're in system this season, every point, every position absolutely matters, even here in the early races of the season.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing a great job at holding on, and he might not be done gaining positions as more guys exit the race, like Brock Whitehead. Looks like he's already gotten past the 31, but yeah, you never know. I mean, another caution here, we still have more laps left than he is down, so still positions to be gained for that 39, and trying to get himself into a good position for next week's points at Michigan.
So you mentioned about Kleinsma there. Not sure if he meant to stay out. One thing that I was kind of thinking about is he's been involved in a couple of incidents here tonight, spun around. If you end up getting involved in a wreck and spin, is that guaranteed you have to take on a new set of tires? Is it wear the tires down enough that you have to put on a new set of Goodyears and that puts you a set down?
It gets them hot for sure, and it's up to you if you're going to change them. But yeah, with limited sets here and people already being tight on tires, I would not do it. But here late in the race, I definitely would.
Kleinsma, we saw him with a lot of speed working his way through the field. Ooh, tried to kind of snooker Greg Wood on that top side, and it might have worked, as he was able to catch the 67 flat-footed. Great launch, going to clear for the top position. Zachary Woods trying to take advantage of that low line and clear for second place. Might be clear off of turn 2. Let's see if Wood can battle back. Yes, he can off the second corner.
We had a big wreck in turn 2. Looked like the 4 got turned around and the 12 and the 1 also involved. Not sure why there's a no caution going on. A multi-car incident. 2 cars sitting off the racetrack in turn 2.
Yeah, there's Hutchinson against the inside wall. Coster now rolling in that Pennzoil machine, and now the caution flag is going to wave for the 10th time here tonight. Field will slow as field is frozen. We had 12 cautions the last time these drivers were here at Las Vegas. 2 cautions shy of that here. And I almost wonder if now Jeffrey Kleins will come to pit road. My goodness, that pace car is boogieing. I think he might be breaking a couple of speeding limits. Oh my, he's Tokyo drifting through 3.
Yeah, Kleinswick's got to be careful here not to pit in front of the pace car. But yeah, I mean, that pace car has definitely scared me a few times on the iRacing simulator for sure.
And Kleinsman is indeed coming down pit road this time. Let's go back and see what happened over there in the center of 1 and 2. Keep an eye on the 12 of Cameron Costner. That Ryan Blaney scheme. It's up into Adam Stewart in the 4. Oh man, we were talking about the good night that the 3 was having of Wainscott. Looks like he got a piece of it. Nowhere for Hutchinson to go as well. It's been a tough night for him. He's been involved in more than his fair share of incidents tonight. And of course, as well as we are closing in on the end of this race, we end up having these late race restarts. Drivers that are back mid-pack, seeing a potential top 10 up ahead. We might end up seeing more and more of this, of drivers trying to shoot the gap 3 wide, trying to take advantage of everybody all bunched up on these restarts.
Yeah, every time we have a restart, you got guys looking at it, licking their mouths, like they're ready to try to, make those late lunges and big moves just to try to get up in the top 10 like you're talking about. And one of those, Jax Matthews, what an amazing job. I mean, he's been involved in 2 or 3 accidents tonight, not of his own doing, but yeah, sitting inside the top 10. And same with Hunter West. I mean, started 36th, or my math is horrible, so 34th he started, but he is up almost inside the top 5. So yeah, great job by a lot of these guys up inside the top 10. They've got multiple double-digit gain positions since the start of the race.
We saw a number of drivers go a lap down towards the conclusion of the second stage. You mentioned for those drivers, just stick it out, wait for these cautions here in stage 3, and get back on the lead lap. CJ Papa, the most recent recipient of the lucky dog. And I believe we only have 2 other drivers that are off the lead lap by 1, that being Peyton Holland and Christian Ruse. So there are still enough laps here that they potentially could be in line for free passes, get back on the lead lap, and be able to make something up in terms of positioning here to close out the night.
Yeah, we were talking about at the end of stage 2 how the 18 was just going to get trapped a lap down because more cars got past. But guess what? Another quick caution comes out, and he avoids any contact. He will be back on the lead lap. I mean, an amazing job by the 18 to stay out here. His car is actually not looking too bad anymore, but sitting just outside the top 20. You gotta believe that the rally of the 18 is really strong and just trying to get some more points, and we'll see what he can do if he can get back on the lead lap.
You mentioned about Jax Matthews, and he's actually going to start in the 5th row alongside of his teammate Charles Childress. We saw Adam Stewart involved in that most recent wreck, but I remember back to last week, the start of the Daytona race, all the Black Flag Racing cars kind of fell back, were in their own little pack, and a number of them got hit with black flag speeding penalties during the first cycle of green flag pit stops, so none of them really came away with the finishes they were looking for. Doing really well here tonight. For the most part, staying out of trouble, and right now got 2 of their representatives up here inside of the top 10 as green flag back in the air. Greg Wood, control car on the inside line, clears up in front of Zachary Woods. Ryan White, 3 wide for the 3rd spot, gets 2 for the price of 1. He got both Otto and McKenney before the entrance of the corner.
Yeah, what a move there by the 34, and Zach Woods up to 2nd. Man, if he can get this done, he'll be known not for that, coming back from multiple laps down anymore. He'll be known as a race winner in this league.
And remember, last week it was Ryan White who helped push Peyton Holland to the victory at Daytona. You know he wants that one position better, 1 week removed from that second place finish. He's high, wide, and handsome, trying to get to the outside of Woods for that runner-up spot. Otto almost looked like he was thinking about filling that space 3 wide for that position. Now, gonna ride in the tire tracks of the 34. Well, maybe not, because he's gonna go another couple grooves higher, does Ryan White, almost shaking hands with that outside wall.
Yeah, Ryan got really wide there. I don't know if he meant to do that, but yeah, really close to the wall. He had to check up, and that opened the door for Chris Otto on the outside.
Otto trying to clear Zachary Woods off of turn number 2. He will do so, and now he's got his sights set on Greg Wood. We've seen these two battle side by side for the race lead earlier on tonight. They may be looking to rekindle that rivalry here again as we close in on 30 laps to go here tonight at Vegas.
Yeah, Otto doing a really good job faking the top, caused Greg Wood to go up, and he goes to the bottom.
Roles reversed from when these two were side by side the previous time. Wood was on the bottom, Otto was on the top. Now Otto paints that white line. Big send into the corner. Might be looking for a slide job move. He'll clear for the top position by about 2 car lengths off of 4.
Yeah, an insane send. I don't think I've seen that at Las Vegas, especially late in the race like this. Just, I don't know if Greg Wood let him have it or if Otto just really took that much speed going into the corner. But yeah, I mean, a great turn there by him. He's able to hold on to the race lead for now.
And how about Hunter West? He just got around Zachary Woods, move him up into the top 5. Here comes Quinn Newton now with the cross look to the inside of the 6, not able to make the move. And in his rearview mirror, Matt Davies back on the comeback trail.
Yeah, a car that's been involved in 2 accidents, heavy damage both times. A really solid run by the 32 to get up here inside, almost inside the top 5. But yeah, we talk about the rookies, Hunter West and Quinn Newton. They're doing a really fantastic job, and I mean, we're going to have a really good winner no matter what tonight. I mean, there's so many storylines coming out of this one.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, just looking at the amount of time spent on pit road, I believe that Quinn Newton might be on fresher tires. Same said for Dalton McKinney. Same said for Chris Hubka. Actually, I believe even the 17 of Hunter West up there in the 4th position also on fresher tires. So keep an eye on those drivers here to maybe try and take advantage in these final 29 laps.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, that 20 car is ripping the outside wall. He's back up inside the top 10, and I mean, he's got a race-winning race car. If he's able to get up front, wow, Hubka loose right in front of him.
Yeah, where in the world did Noah Jackson come from? We saw him involved in an incident earlier on tonight, was for the most part running between 15th and 25th, but now that car has come back to life, trying to fight his way back up to the top position. Led a number of laps earlier on this evening, trying to see if he can pick up his first win of season 2026B.
Yeah, Ryan White with a big send going into turn 1. Can he clear Greg Wood on exit? He does. Ryan White up to P2.
Wood might have gotten the wall there off of turn 2. Hunter West thought about taking advantage, but instead he might have checked up, and that allows Zachary Woods to his inside. So we're side by side for 2nd, side by side for 4th. How about side by side for 6th? There's Matt Davies to the inside of Quinn Newton.
Man, I mean, this racing is insane, and this is exactly what Chris Otto wants to see in the rearview mirror.
White will clear around the top side. He'll keep 2nd. Newton will keep Matt Davies in the rearview mirror. And now he'll shoot to the inside, will Quinn Newton on Zach Woods. Maybe a little contact between the two through the center of 3 and 4. Newton gonna try and have about a half car length advantage at the start finish line, but look at the side draft, and now Davies comes into the conversation. 3 car, make it 4 car dance for the final spot inside of the top 5.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are holding back nothing at all. They are 100%. Man, Noah Jackson already up here on the back bumper of the 32.
Behind them, Chris Hubka got out of shape trying to get by Dalton McKinney. That's the ongoing battle for 9th place as Jackson to the inside of Davies. Look ahead at Quinn Newton on the outside of Zachary Woods. Again, this for the 5th position, and this side-by-side racing is, in a way, allowing the top 4 to open up some daylight.
Yeah, Hunter West doing a really good job at staying, lined up with Greg Wood and Ryan White trying to chase down Chris Otto. We'll see what happens. I think the 88 might be overdriving a little bit, but yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see.
Just looking at lap times here, Chris Otto Last time by a 6.26. This time a 6.81. Ryan White a 6.67. So just a little bit quicker than Chris Otto. Granted, he does have closer proximity of his nearest competitor, Greg Wood, in the rearview mirror than he does the distance between himself and Chris Otto. As a matter of fact, Greg Wood going to take a look to the inside here going into 3, and that might be a distraction Ryan White doesn't want at the moment. He'd rather have both eyes out the windshield rather than one out the windshield and one in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, the previous lap, Greg Wood, fastest car on the racetrack, and I think that, you know, his ability to be able to drive up to the rear bumper of somebody without getting really tight is helping him. So he's doing something different than everybody else is to not, you know, have dirty air affect him too much, but falls off a little bit, but we'll see him get a run back up on the 31.
Noah Jackson took a look there on Zachary Woods for 7th place, nothing doing. Meanwhile, Chris Hubka, look at this, 3 wide, top side with Dalton McKinney in the middle, Alonzo King on the bottom, tight off of turn 4, back to the stripe.
Yeah, this is just fantastic racing. We have 2 wide for third as well. Now Hunter West looking to the outside of the 67 and Greg Wood.
Oh, Alonzo King hard into the wall off the nose of Dalton McKinney. Takes Chris Hubka with him. That 3 wide. It lasted from turn 4 to turn 1, but then met a horrible end off of turn 2.
Yeah, massive contact for the 80 on the outside wall. That's the price you pay if you're the 46 trying to pinch that car down on the bottom line. Any mistake out of that car on the bottom, and he's coming right across your nose. And well, luckily to not get too much damage on the 46, but yeah, the 5 and the 80 look to probably be out of this race.
That tire strategy for Chris Hubka is not going to work out for him here. Nowhere to go as he was on the top side of that 3 wide formation trying to take advantage of those fresh Goodyears. And massive, massive impact from the bottom groove all the way up to the outside wall head on for Alonzo King. Probably the hardest hit we've seen so far here tonight.
Yeah, massive contact there. I mean, you're going 180 at least right there, and coming across the nose of the 46. It doesn't scrub a lot of speed on the asphalt. He's going straight head on into the outside wall. So, yeah, I think the 80 is definitely done. He took a tow. Engine's probably shot in that one, and I'm sure Chris Hubka's probably got the same fate as well.
I believe that was the 99 of Wally Babb, who's already multiple laps down, who also got a piece of it. Boy, that just... What we talk about here tonight, a lot of things happening quickly. That right rear hook into the outside wall happened very quickly there for Alonzo King. And again, as we take a look at another angle, I'm surprised that other drivers, I guess it was a blessing that there was a bit of a gap back to the rest of the field from this point, because they were all able for the most part to slow the pace enough to get down there, most of them onto the apron, to avoid the 80 and the 5 migrating back down the racetrack.
Yeah, that could have been absolutely massive if it was in a pack, but yeah, I want you to go ahead and take a look at the front of this field when you get a chance. We got 3 guys that are taking on some different strategy here today that, you know, they're gambling right now, and it might pay off for them. But yeah, very interesting for the racing order coming out of pit road and after this pit road cycle out under caution.
We're on board with Peyton Holland, and this caution is going to put him back on the lead lap. So last week's winner from Daytona came in the points leader this evening at Las Vegas. Will find his way back onto the lead lap with the drivers involved in that wreck. It looks like may actually restart up inside of the top 20. And we've still got a little ways to go here, so anything can happen. As you mentioned, though, here's a look at those drivers, those gamblers up here at the front. Noah Jackson, Charles Childress, Adam Stewart, all staying out. Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. And keeping an eye on the 18 there, I watched his right front fender just pop out. I think they got that car fully repaired and back on the lead lap. He could be very dangerous at making some moves. I think he's got some fresh tires as well.
The lights out of the pace car. We're going to get this restart with less than 20 to go. Jackson out there on 18-lap old tires. The drivers behind him, Charles Childress and Adam Stewart, they've got 22-lap old tires. Chris Otto's going to line up in the 4th position. It looks like he did actually have a set of tires available, as did Ryan White. They'll line up in 4th and 5th with Greg Wood, Zachary Woods, Quinn Newton, Jeffrey Kleinsma, Matt Davies, your top 10. With the 18 of Peyton Holland getting the lucky dog, we're going to have 23 drivers on the lead lap when we go back green. One of those drivers that is back out there and still in the lead lap is Chris Hupka in the 5. Unfortunately for Alonzo King, he still sits on pit road. I think pretty safe to say his night is over after that massive impact.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how these front three cars shake out. With I'm not sure if there's fresh tires behind them, but definitely a fuel load.
Interesting to see how they make out and how the drivers behind them, how they kind of carve their way through the field. We saw earlier on tonight Chris Otto try to do that very thing and ran into trouble. Actually had to come back up through the field to eventually find his way to the race lead. It's a good launch there for Noah Jackson. Same for Charles Childress, but here comes Otto in the 3rd spot. Let's see what he's able to do with the top 2.
Yeah, we got 3 wide back there with Ryan White. Adam Stewart kind of falling back, not working out for him on this strategy.
Still in the middle, 3 wide. Zachary Woods got around him. There goes Matt Davies. Quinn Newton on the top. Kleinsma right behind him. Charles Whitehead, who got the free pass a few cautions ago. He's up here in the conversation, knocking on the door of the top 10 as Stewart a little loose there on the bottom. Same for Charles Whitehead as they all keep it stacked up from about the 9th position on back.
Yeah, the racing is getting really exciting now. Guys wanting to get that top 10 and get the right momentum going ahead. A lot of these guys didn't have a great race last week and looking to have it done. Wow, contact for the race lead. Otto to the outside.
Got a car up in the wall. That's Adam Stewart as they were in a 3-wide formation coming off of turn number 4. Caution will wave once again. And this restart we're going to get is going to be closer to 10 laps to go in regulation. Stewart was one of those drivers that was out there on older tires than some of the others around and behind him. I think that he and Charles Childress were both in 3-wide formations coming off of turn 4. Unfortunately for Stewart, this one led to contact that eventually had him looped around.
Yeah, it looked like almost a 4-wide situation there as well. Dalton McKinney was starting to look to the inside of the 4, and yeah, things just got really tied up on the top of the racetrack, and around goes the 4.
Off the nose of Charles Whitehead, maybe a little contact with his teammate as well. 52 of Jax Matthews. Again, though, another incident here tonight. Middle of the pack that only involved, it looks like, 1 driver. So take another look at it here off the final corner. Yeah, you bring up a good point there. I almost wonder if maybe the run that Dalton McKinney was getting there off of 4, if Stewart thought that they were going to be 4 wide, was trying to give room to the car on the inside, not realizing that there were 2 cars to his driver's right.
Yeah, like I said, that turn 4 wall comes up pretty quick, just the amount of speed you carry and the way that it kind of rolls out of the corner. So, yeah, you know, for somebody up on the outside line, especially if you're in the middle on the outside, yeah, it gets really tight there. I think the 40 just tried to, you know, he thought the guy on the outside of him was probably getting into the wall. Gives a little space up to the top. Little does he know the 4 is trying to give some space at the bottom. They just come together, and yeah, unfortunately, that's going to hurt for the 4 car. I think that's the 2nd time he's been spun in front of the field here tonight.
Well, earlier on this evening, before we even took the green flag to start this race, Noah Jackson got sniped by Chris Otto for the pole position. They shared the front row. Who would have thought that incidents for both drivers, and 160 plus laps later, we would see them in 1st and 2nd place, though the positions reversed. Slightly difference, I believe, on tires between these 2, but both of them that were side by side to start lap 1 tonight, going to be side by side here to get us underway for this restart that is going to be closing in on 10 laps to go.
Yeah, if you're Chris Otto, you really got to be disappointed in the timing of that yellow, because he was on the outside of Noah Jackson, passing for the race lead as it happened. So Noah's going to get a really good jump here, and it's going to take some time for the 88 to build up that run and get back up to him. But yeah, time's starting to tick away. I think we're going to restart with about 13 laps to go. So yeah, really unfortunate there for the 88. He's going to have to, like I said, try to charge it back up and get back up there to the 20.
2 drivers that won the stages earlier on tonight as well. Noah Jackson taking stage 1, Chris Otto taking stage 2. You'll have Toyotas in the 2nd row behind them with Greg Wood and Ryan White. Zachary Woods and Matt Davies in row number 3. Then Hunter West, Jeffrey Kleinsma, Charles Childress still on those older tires. Quinn Newton, the rest of your top 10. I believe, yes indeed, Christian Ruse got the lucky dog under that caution. He was the last driver 1 lap down. 24 drivers on the lead lap as we get ready to go back. Green flag racing. Looks like we're going to be around 13 laps to go here from Las Vegas. We had 12 cautions the last time we were here at Vegas. 12th caution about to be dissipated right now. Let's see if maybe this is going to be the final restart of the night as Redline Racing sponsored Chevrolet and Camry get us back underway.
Yeah, massive jump by the 3 teammates on the outside line. Whitehead Racing, big jump. Davies not able to get clear, but I think they're all going to be trying to work together and keep that 88 at bay.
Down the back straightaway, the side-by-side will be for 3rd. Matt Davies on the top side of Chris Otto. Otto gonna shoot the gap. Oh, tried to get to the outside of Ryan White through the block. We got one up into the wall further back. I believe that is the 12 of Cameron Coster. Was still pointing in the right direction, even though he was slowing. We stay green.
Yeah, I think the 34 tried to look to the inside of the 20. Oh, we got a caution out right now.
And it's Jeffrey Vickery in the 51. As that car migrates its way down the banking to the apron. I believe that was going into turn number 3. Cautions breeding cautions. Vickery, for the most part here tonight, had been running a very quiet race, but I think he's going to fall victim to a driver that was on much older tires than he was, the 24 of Charles Childress. Let's see as this was going into turn 1. Yeah, Childress gets the wall. Peyton Holland moves down to react, and unfortunately right underneath him was the 51.
Yeah, I don't think the 51 probably didn't anticipate the 18 coming down so fast, and yeah, Peyton just trying to avoid that accident, got into the right rear of the 51, and around he goes, and yeah, heavy contact for the 51 and the 24.
A lot of damage there on the front end of Jeffrey Vickery's Chevrolet. Was able to get the car refired and drive away from the incident. As of right now, it looks like for drivers, as long as they finish on the lead lap, they are guaranteed to finish no worse than 23rd place. And I think that this caution is actually going to gain Chris Reese one of his 2 laps back. He'll be the recipient of the free pass. Nope, correction on my part. Actually, Thad Teasley is going to get the free pass. He just went around to get it. Thad was 11 laps down. This will put him at -10. Does not improve his running position. He is still in the 25th spot. Chris Reese, I thought, was going to get the lucky dog, but he's actually on pit road. And remember, as mentioned, he was the only driver of the 3 previous Vegas winners that was still in the field running, with Brock Whitehead and Patrick McQuaid out of the race. With him now off the lead lap, that is an absolute 100% guarantee. We're going to have a brand new race winner here tonight at Vegas in the Wide Open Wraps Cup Series.
Yeah, it's really interesting to, we have all these veterans in the race today, and a lot of guys that have been racing here and just haven't found the win. So somebody's going to get it done tonight. And we still have a couple rookies in play as well for the race win. So going to be a very interesting. It looks like we'll restart with what is that, 9 laps to go? So maybe 8. Yeah, it's going to be really close. Noah Jackson still really trying to hold on to that front position, and the teammates are going to get broken up here as they both start on the front row.
Yeah, if you're Noah Jackson right now, are you advocate of these yellows, because then you're able to have these restarts as the control car, get the launch, be able to maybe build a bit of a cushion rather than have a lengthy run that allows drivers on maybe better tires, maybe cars that are not as damaged as yours to be able to reel you in there in those final laps.
Yeah, the sweet spot, if you get a really good launch and you clear second place and the guy behind you doesn't get a good launch either, Yeah, it's going to cost that guy about 2 laps, 2 or 3, depending on how good the tires are, to get back up to you. So yeah, it's just about, he's really advocating for these late yellows. We saw the 88 definitely has the speed to get around him. Unfortunately, that caution before this one came out, and he had to restart in second. But now he's restarting behind the leaders, so we'll see what kind of launch the 88 can get and if he can stay with him.
Well, last week we were treated to a thriller at the high banks of Daytona, getting ready for another one here tonight at Las Vegas. Don't forget, next week, season continues. We're in the Irish Hills of Michigan International Speedway. That'll be coming your way next Wednesday night here on FRN. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when the green flag will fly. But we've got the Red Line Racing Team 265 to conclude here this evening. Noah Jackson, Ryan White, the front row as we get back underway.
Yeah, Noah with a great launch. The 88 did get a push from the 32, so we'll see. Noah's going to move up to the top. Dirty air, not really a factor here in the first lap as you're getting up to speed, but it will be here in about half a lap going into turn number 3.
A little movement right there by Matt Davies and Hunter West on that inside line. Maybe a little tight through the center of the corner, as now West will look to the inside 3 wide for the 3rd position. That puts Ryan White way up on the top. That might allow Otto the one-on-one he wants between himself and the race leader.
Yeah, definitely what Otto wants to see in the rearview mirror. He's got a pretty big run here on Noah Jackson. We'll see if Noah tries to mirror drive.
Big save right there out of David Lorfano as he was loose on the inside of Zachary Woods off of turn 4. 3 wide for the 5th position. That's Greg Wood up the center. Dalton McKinney on the bottom has to back out. Now it's Wood versus Ryan White.
Yeah, Chris Otto makes a big move to the outside. We'll see if he can stay alongside the 20. Doesn't look like he can. He's going to have to run out of the corner, but he's got a car on the inside now.
Matt Davies pulls right up alongside the driver's side door. Noah Jackson been having a little bit of connection issues here. Now disappears, reappears right in front of the field. Way up on the top side. We're going to be 3 wide for the top position off of turn 2.
Man, what a move by Matt Davies to get to the inside of the 88. Oh my goodness, just clear of the 20. We'll see who's able to... Oh, he sends him into 3.
Shallow entry gets into Otto, sends him up the track right in front of Noah Jackson. Now they're going to fall back outside of the top 5. Davies to the lead. West is now battling for 2nd with Greg Wood.
Yeah, 5 laps to go. These guys definitely not holding on to anything. Man, these guys are so loose. What a freaking save there by Chris Otto. I mean, unfortunately, he's going to lose a lot of spots, but that could have been really bad for those guys behind him.
Yeah, Otto's all the way back to 6. We're 4 wide in the middle of the pack. That is Quinn Newton. Send it to the inside of Wainscott, who gets up into the wall. There goes Kleinsma. He's going to get Lorfano. The wall saved him. I think we're still great. Everyone somehow is still pointed the correct direction. Now the caution will wave.
Yeah, Jeffrey Kleinsma just trying to save the race car through 3 and 4, and Cam Coster nowhere to go, slams the rear bumper of the 15 and sends him around back there. That's what's going to bring the yellow out. But oh my goodness, the racing absolutely insane. Nobody holding anything back.
That wreck was the long one. It happened over in turn 3. We didn't have the caution thrown until Kleinsma was making his way out of turn 4. But I do believe that the timing of this yellow may very well send us past regulation and into overtime. Gives us a chance to catch our breath up here in the booth, too, after what just went down. Those final 2 or 3 laps, we'll take it back and see what brought out this 14th caution of the night.
Yeah, I mean, Noah Jackson, like you said, he had his connectivity issues, but he might have had a little contact there from the 88, so not happy. He kind of sends him into turn number 3. Not sure how that wasn't the accident, but my goodness. I mean, fantastic job by everybody to kind of hold on to the race car until they couldn't.
This was around that 4 wide position I was talking about. David Lorfano gets into Kirby Wainscott. Might have clipped the back of Jeffrey Kleinsma as well. Right there, I saw Kleinsma. The wall kind of saved him, but then he gets a hit from behind by the 12 of Coster. And that's what actually brought out the yellow flag. So if we had not had the follow-up contact, we might still have been under green. Maybe, put that in quotation marks, but wow, wild ride there from turn 3 all the way over to turn 4 for the driver of the 15. It's been such an up and down night for Jeffrey Kleinsma, involved in incidents, battling back up into the top 5, but it looks like here with just a handful of laps to go as we traverse into overtime, more than likely that's going to take him out of the running for a top 10. Trying to remember last week, was it 2 overtime green-white checkers we had at Daytona?
I want to say you were correct. Yeah, I do believe it was 2.
So we'll have to see just how many overtimes we'll need here tonight at Vegas. I mean, if that last restart was any indication, I mean, my goodness, these drivers, I mean, the amazing thing too, you mentioned it, these drivers, they have their hands full here tonight. So it's not like these drivers are making these moves with the absolute 100% confidence that the car is going to stick. They're kind of on a wish and a prayer, hoping that the move is going to work out, but I'm not necessarily certain that they're completely sold on it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, a lot of these guys are thinking that 8 tires turn a lot better than 4. So, yeah, if they're getting a little bit tight through the center, they can kind of lean on the guy on the outside, and we saw that a little bit. I mean, I think Davies kind of got leaned on a little bit, but, yeah, I mean, what a move by him to get to the inside of the 88. They went 3 wide, and, I mean, yeah, we could end up going the full distance of all 3 green light checkers here tonight.
So Matt Davies will choose the outside line here for our first attempt at overtime. Greg Wood will line up on the inside line. You've got Hunter West, Zachary Woods, Ryan White, Dalton McKinney, Chris Otto, Quinn Newton, CJ Papa, Charles Whitehead. Those are 2 drivers that had to get back on the lead lap via the lucky dog. They're now in shots of not only a top 10, maybe a top 5 here this evening.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if the 32 and the 67 get busy battling, I mean, anybody that wins behind them is a surprise winner, with the exception of Chris Otto, that's luckily been able to hang into that inside the top 10 after that contact with Noah Jackson. But yeah, I mean, Hunter West, the rookie, you got Zach Woods on the outside, Ryan White on the inside of the 3rd lane. It's going to be absolute insanity. And if these guys wreck, I mean, yeah, you're talking about Chris Papa back there, Charles Whitehead. I mean, guys who have never, I don't think, won in this league have an opportunity for their first win here tonight.
9th through 12th are all drivers who had to get back on the lead lap via the lucky dog. Add in Peyton Holland and Christian Ruse, still with a shot at a top 10 finish here tonight. They've got to get to the white flag for this race to be official. If the caution comes out prior, we'll rack them up and we'll do it again. Matt Davies may be in for the restart of his life as he'll bring us into the Echo Park restart zone. Pretty even between him and Greg Wood. We are door to door, splitter to splitter at the line.
And unfortunately, black flag for the 67 launched before the leader. Greg Wood has a black flag.
Tough break there for Greg Wood, who's had such a solid night. Gonna end up not being indicative of how strong that machine was, as now he's gonna hold up the 17 of Hunter West on that inside line. Here's the top side. Is that Dalton McKinney right up against the wall there around the 6th position?
Yeah, race control has ruled the 67. No penalty there, so he's actually the race leader.
And we had one spinning off the corner there. I believe that was West in the 17. Leader did take the white, so we're racing back to the checkers as Davies throws a major block on Zachary Woods in turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, Greg Wood, I mean, a big audible there, no black flag, and he's coming through turn number 3 and 4 as the race leader.
We saw him nearly wrecked a couple of times in this race, but out of turn 4, the Red Line Racing Team 265 goes to driver 67. Greg Wood will take Las Vegas.
Unbelievable finish. I mean, what a restart there by Greg to stay with the 32, and it ultimately pays off for him with a big pass, and he's able to get the job done.
And think about this as well. More than likely, from a driver's mentality, if you're hit with a black flag like that, you're probably thinking, back out, don't be in the conversation. He stuck to it, and that allowed him to get the lead with the audible call to clear the black flag. If he hadn't kept his foot in the throttle, if he'd kind of conceded to the rest of the field, he might not have won this race.
Yeah, unbelievable job to come back with that contact, and yeah, I mean, sideways, and we talk about him being in the top 5, dropping outside the top 20. Just a battle for the 67 tonight, able to get it done.
Burning it down here in Las Vegas. What a fight here this evening. As mentioned, there were a couple times in this race that car was all but wrecked. However, he was able to persevere, and Greg Wood becomes the 8th different driver to claim a checkered flag here at Las Vegas in the Wide Open Wraps Cup Series for the Esports Oval League. Let's go back real quick. Take a look at that final restart, because just looking at it live, it looked like the 67 just timed it perfectly. Right when the 37 launched was when he launched as well.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. I knew he got a nose out in front, but yeah, I mean, it was really close, and I saw the black flag pop up, but yeah, race control saw it differently and cleared it, and Greg was able to hold on and get the race win.
Here's a look at it as they come into the restart zone. Keep an eye there on the 67, and yeah, I mean, it looks like they launched at the exact same time. Maybe the splitter of the 67 out in front a little too far. I'm not 100% certain, but whatever the case there, obviously race control took a look at it. They make the call, and Greg Wood able to pick up the victory here tonight. And I think that it's pretty safe to say as well, coming into this race, fourth in the point standings, tied for fourth in the point standings, we're going to be looking at Greg Wood not only as the defending winner from this week, but also going to be the new points leader going into Michigan next week. Saw that contact off of turn 4. That's a tough break there for the 17 of Hunter West, who was in line for a top 10, if not a top 5. He's ultimately going to finish in the 21st position, but once they got double wide, 3 wide for second, that was all Greg Wood needed to be free and clear, come back to the checkered flag, and join Peyton Holland as a race winner here in the 2026 B season. Another thriller here tonight as we'll bring you back and show you the way that they all cross the start-finish line here this evening. Greg Wood with the victory. Second place going to go to Chris Otto. Back-to-back great nights to start out the season. Had the podium finish last week at Daytona. The runner-up here tonight, Matt Davies in the 3rd spot, finishing on the final podium position. Zachary Woods, Ryan White complete the top 5 with Dalton McKinney 6th. Christian Ruse, who had all that front end damage, comes back after being a lap down to finish 7th. Quinn Newton, great run for the rookie in 8th. Kirby Wainscott comes back after being involved in 2 incidents tonight to get 9th. And CJ Papa from Lucky Dog to top 10 finish here this evening as well. Peyton Holland won last week at Daytona. Was looking like here tonight he may finish well outside the top 20. He comes back after a lucky dog to finish 11th. Charles Whitehead comes back from a lucky dog as well to get 12th. Noah Jackson, our stage 1 winner, 13th. Travis Rodriguez and Jax Matthews, the rest of the top 15. And then 20th place, or the top 20, that is, Hubka, Stewart, Childress, Kleinsma, and Vickery. I believe, based off of scoring, I think the top 23 drivers finished this race under power, down to the 12 of Cameron Coster.
Yeah, a lot of guys, getting the points stated they needed tonight. I mean, you look inside the top 10, almost everybody had gained position from the start of the race, and yeah, a great job by everybody. Chris Otto, started on pole and finished 2nd, so big points for him and big points for Greg Wood. So they're definitely going to be neck and neck for that points lead going into Michigan next week.
A few drivers to keep an eye on going into that race will include Patrick McQuaid and Brock Whitehead, who came into this race up there in the point standings behind the wall tonight. They'll look to gain the points back that they lost in this evening's festivities when we head to Michigan. But it's now time to take us into our FRN post-race wind down and dial up our podium finishers on the night. Got to think that they've got to be physically and mentally exhausted after what we just saw go down. But let's see if we can get a hold of the driver that brought it home 3rd place here tonight, Matt Davies. Hey, Matt, it's the guys up here in the FRM booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How y'all doing?
Crazy race here tonight from Las Vegas. Seemed to continually evolve as the race went on. We saw a number of drivers charge to the front, fall to the back, charge back to the front. Very unpredictable here tonight. But, man, you were up there when it counted the most. Got the lead when that caution comes out. Control car on the restart. Got past for the lead. Looked like you were trying to get him back. What little more did you need to be able to stay alongside of the 67, have this car parked in victory lane?
10-lap newer tires. I just tried to overdrive it in 3 and 4. Car didn't have anything left to give me, and it was a basket case. I wish that last restart went a little differently. Didn't get the jump I was looking for. There was some push and whatnot, but Oh, well, like you said, it was back and forth all night. I mean, there was a time, Seth. I was the last car in lead lap. Didn't know what was going to happen here. So P3, I'm a happy camper.
Yeah,
Came
Matt, you talk about, your sorry, Steph, but yeah, you talk about your disadvantages that you had tonight. I mean, caught up in multiple accidents and heavy damage, and at least two of them. I mean, talk about your day and how you're able to fix that damage slowly and get this car back in race winning contention.
Yeah, this Apex Pulse Camry, the guys on that pit squad are no joke. They were able to get us wrapped up, beating and banging, tape on the car, back together with some speed. I know at one time crew chief telling me you had the fast lap of the race late in the race, which was surprising to me, but made it happen. Those wrecks I was involved in weren't race ending or nowhere close. We were able, had the opportunity to fix it relatively quickly. Obviously, there was several different yellow flag opportunities to do that, so took advantage of that. Just hung out when I needed to. When the car wasn't put back together, did not have pace, just hanging in the back, cruising around, having a good time, waiting for that next opportunity to get some of that pace back. It was an interesting race. Interesting race, like you said. It was back and forth. I can't believe I'm talking to you guys sometimes. So.
Yeah, came into this race 19th in the point standings after Daytona. We talk about how early on in the season, when you get the good finishes like this, you're able to leapfrog up through the points. So you should have yourself
Yeah.
really well positioned going into Michigan. How do you now build off of this momentum going into that 2-mile speedway?
Well, we do the opposite of what we did last season here. Had a couple rough stretches at the beginning of last season, caught up in wrecks. Just being patient, I think, is key. Whitehead Racing, we're good at that. We've got the speed to win. It's just about the smart aspect of it. So happy to turn this thing around. Last season, I don't know if I wrecked out or finished bottom 20 here at Vegas. So it's great to get vaulted back. P3 finish, second race of the season after the roller coaster that was last week. We'll take it. Like you said, build upon it next week. Michigan's a strong track for myself, the whole team. I look forward to it. Should be a great time. I really get enjoyment about running with a lot of these guys. Had good battles with Greg Wood, a couple of other guys out there. Unfortunately, got into a couple incidents. Thad, good buddy of mine. I don't know what happened with that. Gavin and I in that big wreck early. Wish that stuff didn't happen. I'm going to try to take care of that stuff best I can, but some of it's just racing deals. But nonetheless, focus on the positive. Fix the car up, finish P3. It's a good day for the Apex Pools camp.
Well, fantastic run for you here tonight, able to bring it home on the podium at Vegas, build into that momentum here as this new season begins. Matt, congratulations on not only putting together a solid race, but as you say, overcoming some adversity here tonight as well, getting some good damage pair done and being able to bring it home solidly in the third position. Before we let you go, the floor is yours for thank you, sponsors, and shoutouts.
Yeah, absolutely. Start with the team. The guys over there are awesome. We've got a good team this year, as we did last year. Looking forward to the guys compounding their finishes and those who don't have them yet and getting them next week. So the team, first and foremost, Apex Pools Camry team as well. Go check out Apex Pools down there in the Orlando, Florida area for all your pool needs. My wife for letting me do this, supporting me on this fun stuff I do. Everybody out there who watches, people like Jack Lynch, Billy Wofford, my parents, brothers, sister as well, siblings, I should say. Everybody out there who watches, week in, week out. I have a good time doing it. I hope to have a good time watching the broadcast. I know y'all broadcast and do a great job. So thanks to you as well. Looking forward to next week.
That's Matt Davies, third place here tonight under the lights at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. He'll look to build off this podium next week when we go to the Irish Hills of Michigan. Congratulations on the run tonight. Best of luck next week as the season continues.
Thanks, y'all. Look forward to talking to you again soon, hopefully. Take care.
Matt Davies, P3 here tonight. Had a Chevrolet break up. The Toyota's on the podium. Let's dial up that bow tie. Chris Otto. Hey, Chris, it's the guys up here in the FRM booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How are you guys?
Man, what a way to kick off the season. The third place last week at Daytona, second place here tonight in Las Vegas. Not without some adversity. We saw you early stages of this race. Have to try and cut your way through the older tires and spin the thing around. Had to come back up through the field, but pick up the victory at the end of stage 2 and end the conversation for the victory here tonight. Trey was talking about the timing of that caution just before you guys go to overtime might have been a difference maker. You were battling for the lead at the time. Did you need the thing to go green there? Did that overtime green, white checkered maybe kind of stifle the momentum?
Really, at the end of the day, I needed it to go green from like the caution way early in the last stage. Because I think it seemed like the 67, the 34, all those guys up there were on 2 tires, and I was just driving away. I just needed the guys in the back of the field to just not junk their stuff, and I'd have walked away with this win. But no, I mean it was an interesting night for sure. I don't know what happened in 1 and 2. When I went down there, it was fine. It was fine, and then it just snapped loose, and the 80 just. I don't know if he didn't care, didn't want to check up, but didn't feel like he checked up. Just drove right through me. I had no chance to save the car. Had 3.5 minutes of damage. I was glad I was able to get all that fixed. And I could not believe I came back through the field and won that stage too. Kind of surprised myself with that one. I'm not going to lie, but I'm not happy with this finish, and I'm not happy because I feel like I had the best car out here tonight. I qualified on pole. I had great pace. It didn't seem like anybody could do anything with me, and then those cautions at the end I just didn't have any teammate help up there. I knew once that second to last caution came out and Noah went to the top side to restart with his teammates, I was going to get just blew my doors off, at least by Noah. And I just didn't really have the timing on my side tonight. I can't believe I came from 7th to finish 2nd, but we'll take it. I made a few drivers mad. I mean, we're racing for the checkered flag at the end of the race. If they're going to be mad at me about that, then it is what it is. But I'm here to win races, not please people.
Yeah, Chris, you talk about starting on pole, and then the track changed pretty early in this race. We went to nighttime, and the lights came on about a third of the way through the race. So talk about how the car was different at the beginning of the race and at the end, and you were one of the fastest cars all night long. But just talk about what changes you made, if any, and how it affected your race.
Yeah, I didn't think the top in 1 and 2, or the middle, I guess, was going to be as fast as it was. But my goodness, when you got cars on the bottom, especially in a line, like 2 or 3 of them in a line, you can almost blow by both of them because you just got to let off a little bit, and then you can get almost right back in at full throttle. And that's what did me in there early on, because I just assumed the car was going to stick there on the bottom, and then the back end just stepped out on me. So yeah, I love night races. I love Las Vegas. This track has been really good to me. But yeah, I guess I just didn't have enough tonight.
A podium in back-to-back races, Daytona, Las Vegas. Trey talked about the track we're going to next week. Michigan's almost kind of a hybrid of both of those racetracks. With the speed you were able to have in these first 2 weeks, what's the confidence you can bring that over to Michigan next week?
Yeah, my confidence is going to be really high going to Michigan. I won there last season. I did really good. I know how to get around that place. That's another one of my favorite racetracks. So it's going to be high. I don't know. There's going to be some tough competition. I know Noah Jackson. He's really good there too. Greg, Brock. They're all really good there. So it's gonna be hard to win that race. But I just got to do everything I can to get it done. And yeah, I mean, 2nd and 3rd start the season. I can't hate on that. But I think this should have been a win tonight, and I'm just not happy right now, to be honest with you.
Well, still a great way to kick off the season for you. Puts you right there in the conversation to be the new points leader going into Michigan next week. A track that, as you mentioned, 1 season ago, you went to Victory Lane. So great way to kick off the 2026 B season for you, Chris. We'll now give you the opportunity for thank you sponsors and shout-outs.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys for doing the broadcast. You guys do a great job up here. Can't wait to go back and watch. Matt Metler, Alan Dobbs, Kirby Wainscott, CJ Papa, everybody at Redline Racing comes out here, puts on good shows. 2 straight weeks with 3 cars in the top 10. So we're doing some good things out here. Tier 1 Setup Shop, can't thank them enough for what they do to help me prepare for these weeks. And yeah, just Hubco for putting on this league, and I'm just glad to race. I have fun with it. I'd have more fun if I was in Victory Lane right now.
That's Chris Otto, 2nd place here this evening under the lights at Las Vegas. Great way to kick off the season. Best of luck as you head into a track you previously won at Michigan next week.
Thank you.
And let's see if we can now go down to Victory Lane. Dial up the 8th different driver to go to Victory Lane here at Las Vegas in the Wide Open Wraps Cup Series. Let's dial up Greg Wood. Hey, Greg, it's the guys up here in the FRM booth. You got a copy?
Sure do, sir.
Man, I'll tell you what, all night long on the restarts, whoever was not the control car, we would see them lose anywhere from a car length to 5 car lengths by the time the leader got into turn number 1. You had the restart of the night, my friend, right there even with the 32 as you guys made your way through the latter portion of the restart zone, able to stay alongside, eventually get the race lead and bring this thing home with a checkered flag. But, it was not easy for you tonight. There were about 2 or 3 different times we saw this car wrecking loose, nearly spinning out through the center of the corner. Great hands to keep it together and keep yourself in the conversation. Did you think at any point when those situations were happening that we'd be talking to you tonight in Victory Circle?
Honestly, I had no clue that I'd be in Victory Circle. And honestly, the last restart where it was black flag, I got black flagged on the last restart because the push came way too early from 2 rows behind me and actually pushed me in front of the 32, and it gave me a black. But I mean, I couldn't control it, so they cleared it. And then he overdrove into 3 and 4, and it looked like he dropped anchor. And I've been hooking that white line in 3 and 4 all night. It's been working for me. But yeah, definitely got loose a couple times. One restart, I was on the outside. I went into turn 1, and it felt like I had a flat right rear. It just hooked on me. And thankfully, nobody got into me. Somehow, I did have a ghost like 8X from that massive pile up in the front. But other than that, car was straight, tagged the wall a couple times, no complaints. It was great, hard racing, respectable racing, intense racing all night long.
Yeah, Greg, you talk about that big slide you had. I mean, you restart in the top 5 and coming off of turn number 4, you get sideways. We think you're going to, it's going to be a big wreck coming out of 3 and 4, but everybody misses you. You kind of settle back in the 20s and just talk about your drive back up to the front and how you were able to get this thing back up in race winning contention.
And honestly, I finished with a set still laying in the pits. I don't know what I was thinking, but it worked out. But coming up through the field, I knew where most people ran, and nobody was running my line in 3 and 4. Just for some reason, nobody caught on to it except for my teammate, Zach. And I was just able to once I hooked that white line, as soon as my tires touched that white line, I could throttle down full throttle, and it was just working for me all night long. So thankfully, the seas parted on a couple incidents. I definitely had some Code Brown moments, but all in all, it worked out.
You had a 6th place performance last week at Daytona to kick off the season. You were tied for 4th in points coming into tonight. This victory now puts you as the points leader going into Michigan next week. The new playoff system, no win and you're in, so it puts a lot more emphasis on consistency. A great way to kick things off. How do you keep this momentum going next week in the Irish Hills?
Honestly, Michigan is not one of my better tracks. I mean, I usually can 5th to 10th place car, but I think I'll figure it out. I'm shocked that I took the points lead. This is definitely a complete 180 from last season. Last season, I was just trashed the entire season. So been focused a lot more, keeping emotions out of it because, I mean, it is a simulation. So as long as I can keep emotions out of it, keep my head keep my head straight, then I should be good to go. But yeah, Michigan's kind of like a hit or miss. I mean, going into 3, that bump, a lot of people get loose, and if you pack air on somebody, there's going to be a lot of wrecks. So yeah, just got to avoid those once again, stay up front, and hopefully I can get a repeat.
A big win for you here tonight. A great way to kick off the season as well. We won't keep you from your celebration down there in Victory Lane, but we will give you the opportunity here for some thank you sponsors and shout-outs.
First and foremost, all glory to God. None of this is possible without him. Thank my teammates there at Spin Move Racing. Zach tonight, it was just him and I. Nobody else showed up, so good effort. Gorilla Mind, Energy, EOL, Hubka for allowing me to come back. Everybody tonight, honestly, for racing hard and racing clean. I mean, that I have 0 complaints. We doored each other. I cleared myself off auto once, and I mean, it's just intense racing. Everybody had a lot of respect, gave each other room, and just hard racing. Couldn't ask for a better race.
Well, that's Greg Wood in Victory Lane here tonight as he takes the Red Line Racing Team 265 at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. He'll take the points lead into Michigan next week. Congratulations, enjoy your victory tonight, and best of luck next week as the season continues.
Thank you, sir.
Greg Wood joins Peyton Holland as a winner here in the early stages of the 2026 B season of the Wide Open Wraps Cup Series. And Mentioned about the fact he's going to be the new points leader going into next week by only 2 points over Chris Otto. You said it, Trey. It was going to be really close between those two, but also a lot of movement in the point standings. A number of drivers moving up double digits in points, including Zachary Woods and Charles Childress. On the flip side, other drivers dropping multiple spots like Brock Whitehead and Patrick McQuaid. Intense race here tonight from what it's sounding like from the drivers. They are fully expecting an intense race next week as well at Michigan. So could we expect Michigan to also be a racetrack where the point standings going in are going to look entirely different leaving?
Yeah, I mean, we're still early in the season, so yeah, with all these close points battles, you're definitely going to see some shuffling. But if there's one example that you want of this, no more winning you're in, every point matters. Peyton Holland only dropped 2 positions after being involved in multiple incidents and going multiple laps down. Still third in the points, only 15 points out of the points lead. So, yeah, there's your example, everybody. If you want to stay, in the championship hunt, just battle it out no matter your damage and just get the best possible finish you can. And it's going to be a really exciting season.
We heard Greg talk about the bump off of turn 3 at Michigan. So far in these first 2 races, it looks like drivers have been having to deal with things maybe a little outside of their control. There's the unpredictability of superspeedway racing, and here tonight it looked like there were very few drivers out there that had a very good handling race car, a happy car as you would dub it. What is, outside of maybe that bump next week, some of the pitfalls drivers are going to have to deal with at Michigan that they're going to have to overcome, or do you think maybe it'll be a little bit smoother sailing for them as opposed to these first 2 races?
Well, it'll definitely get a little more spaced out, but Michigan, you're carrying a lot more speed through the corners than you are here at Las Vegas. So dirty air going to be more prevalent. Guys are, they're going to get in the wall a little bit harder if they get in the dirty air. But yeah, a lot of space to move around as well. You got a bunch of different lines at Michigan, so it's going to be different in some good ways, some bad. Dirty air, like I said, is going to affect you a lot more there because you're just, inevitably going faster and you got to turn down into the corner. But yeah, it's going to be pretty cool to see these guys race it out at Michigan. Michigan always puts on a great show. So, yeah, definitely looking forward to next week and seeing, who can come out with the points lead there or if Greg Wood can hold on to it.
Well, we've been treated a great show so far here. Daytona, Las Vegas have not disappointed. Looking forward to seeing what the 2 Mile Speedway has in store for us. Next Wednesday night, we will be at Michigan International Speedway to continue on this 2026 season for the Esports Oval League Wide Open Wraps Cup Series. We hope you will join us. The green flag will be scheduled to fly 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But congratulations once again to Greg Wood as he takes tonight's Redline Racing Team 265 at Las Vegas. We thank you for spending your Wednesday evening with us, folks. For Trey Whitehead, I'm Seth Cole. We'll see you guys next Wednesday night as the season continues here for the Wide Open Wraps Cup Series. You've been watching another broadcast courtesy of FRN, the Flatout Racing Network.
This broadcast is the copyrighted work of Flatout Racing Network and may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of Flatout Racing Network and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations. Flatout Racing Network would like to thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast.